And we welcome you to University Field on the campus of Stony Brook University, where today we bring you a pivotal America East softball matchup. Joined alongside Jonah Karp, I'm Jonny Wincott. Today it's the UMass Lowell River Hawks coming to town to take on the Stony Brook Seawolves. First place Seawolves at 7-1 in the America East Conference. Fresh off of 2 out of 3 against the University of Maine. They did suffer their first AE loss of the season after starting the campaign 6-0. But as noted, they take 2 out of 3, both in shutout fashion. In fact, the last 4 wins for Stony Brook have come via the shutout. But today they take on a River Hawks team, as noted, 5-3 in the America East. And well, Jonah, with a pair of wins today, we're all tied up at the top of the America East.
Yeah, these are 2 pivotal games, like you mentioned, Johnny, and you mentioned the shutouts, and they've been crucial as of late. They've been the deciding factor. This is the bread and butter of this Stony Brook softball team. The pitching, exceptional. A .99 is the team's earned run average, and at the top of that is Dawn Bodrick, who's on the bump today, Johnny.
Bodrick 12-4. A 1.28 earned run average. That's good for second best of the America East Conference. And she steps into the center circle. We're just about ready to go. Courtney Cashman steps in, the shortstop batting from the right side. And the first offer is a fastball in there for a called strike 1. Riley Craig at the hot corner for Stony Brook. Up the middle, Nicole McCarville and Kira McFarland. Melissa Rarick over at first base. Jordan Nowakowski catching the Dawn Bodrick pitches. 0-1. Fastball below the knees. The count evens up, a ball and a strike. Julia Sansone in left field. Jordan Herring out in center. And Sean Nuss will run right. Ball and a strike on Cashman. Leading hitter for UML. She takes low and in again, 2-1. Cashman, an apt last name. She's been money, hitting .400 this season with 6 home runs and 16 RBIs. Bodrick has the side. Here comes a 2-1. Swing and a miss. High fastball. The count evens up at 2-2. After Cashman, she'll be followed by the designated player Christina Rizzi and Sarah Ratcliffe, the third baseman for the River Hawks. Long look home from Bodrick. The pitch. 2-2 pop foul. We will do it again. Bodrick in search of strikeout number 175. The 2-2 is lifted deep to left field. This sends Tully to the wall. Looks up, and it's gone. A leadoff jack for Courtney Cashman. And the River Hawks draw first blood on the first batter. It's 1-0.
Well, Dawn Bodrick is one of the best, and you could argue possibly the best pitcher in the entire conference. I mean, that only doesn't get to her on the stat sheet, that gets to her mentally. Granted, there was nobody on base. Damage could have been done in larger fashion, but couldn't get the first batter she faced out. Perhaps that sets the tone for how this game is going to go, Johnny.
In steps Rizzi, another right-handed swinger. Looks at a first pitch fastball right down the middle to count 0-1. Cashman already named the America East Player of the Week twice this season. Last month set the UMass Lowell all-time home runs record with her 36. That was her 37th. 0-1 on the outside corner. Bodrick works ahead, 0-2.
And Johnny, I'll say this. Dawn Bodrick has given up now 10 home runs this season, 21 earned runs. 10 of those come by way of the long ball.
Her 0-2. Fastball climbed the ladder. Rizzi doesn't bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we already noted how rare it is for Stony Brook to lose a game in conference. First one came last weekend. They're 7-1. Fairly rare for them just to not be in front, trailing early 1-0. The third offer ripped into right field, and this finds green. Back-to-back knocks for the River Hawks to begin their road campaign today. A doubleheader at Stony Brook. And the second place team has 1 aboard and 1 already in for Sarah Ratcliffe.
Those are 2 pitches. One to Cashman. She lifted over the fence. That one to Rizzi. Just sitting center of the zone. Not a whole lot of spin on the ball, just there on a tee.
Another righty-righty matchup. Bodrick's first offer. high and tight, 1-0. Ratcliffe, a good hitter as well. Riverhawks have plenty of them. She's hitting .377 this season. 2 long balls and 14 runs batted in. One of 4 Riverhawks to start each and every game this season. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball at a strike on Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe had a 10-game hitting streak going, but since that stretch came to an end, just 1 for her last 7. Still having a career year, as noted, hitting just a tick below .400. The pitch. Fastball rides outside, 2-1. This is only the 3rd game for the Riverhawks since April the 3rd. Had a doubleheader last weekend against UMBC. They split 1-1, had game 3 rained out. 2-1 pitch, high and tight. Ratcliffe works ahead now, 3-1. Meanwhile, over that stretch, Stony Brook had played 9 games since April the 3rd, this being their 10th. Certainly a unique season, to say the least, but UMass Lowell has only played half of the non-conference games that Stony Brook has. 3-1 pitch popped over the netting behind home. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Christina Rizzi is taunting Jordan Nowakowski specifically, who's the catcher for Stony Brook. Taking a big lead off of first and threatening to go. Nowakowski paying a lot of attention to her over at first.
3-2, fastball high and cut on and missed. So Dawn Bodrick finally has that elusive first out here in the top of the first. Still with 1 on and 1 in. That brings up the catcher, Sarah Seichman.
You raise an interesting point, Johnny, though, with this UMass Lowell team not having played a whole lot in the last 3 weeks. You know, we've seen it with all these COVID breaks, specifically during basketball season, where teams take a lot of time off.
First pitch to the catcher, high, 1-0.
Teams can come out of the gate after those long hiatuses one of 2 ways. Either they're raring to go, red hot, or they come out struggling, and you noticed a lot of rust. Right now, it looks like the Riverhawks not struggling.
0-1 to Seichman. Swing and a miss on a fastball low and in. Bodrick working ahead 0-2 after picking up her 175th strikeout of the batter prior. That is tops in the America East. Long look home, Bodrick has it, deals home. Fastball at the letters, 1-2. Got to go back to 2019 after the 2020 shortened season, but the Riverhawks, the most recent regular season champs in the conference. 2-1 pitch, just a bit inside, Bodrick pelting the fastballs. And the count in favor of Seichman, the catcher, now 3-1. Riverhawks went 15-3 in AE play. Program record, 3-1. Looked at right down Broadway, it's full. Most coaches will tell you don't put too much stock into those preseason polls. Well, these were 1-2, Stony Brook and UML, and right now it holds true. 3-2, cut on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dawn Bodrick after a home run and a single to start this Wednesday afternoon. And now with 1 on and 2 gone, here comes Maria Macchio.
Well, Bodrick loves those fastballs, loves pitching specifically right-handers up and in. That's why she got back-to-back strikeouts. Pumping the zone, says, you got to beat me. First batter did, last 2 haven't.
Another righty-righty matchup. First pitch delivered high and outside. The count 1-0 on Macchio. She's hitting .259 this season. 1 home run, 7 RBIs. 1-0 Riverhawks over Seawolves. We're in the top of the first inning. Courtney Cashman, a solo shot as the first batter of the game. Second offer to Macchio, sails over the catcher Nowakowski, and that will allow Rizzi to move into scoring position. After the home run from Cashman and the single from Rizzi, strikeouts from Ratcliffe and Seichman. The 1-0. Big wave and a miss on a fastball low in the zone. The count 1-1. Riverhawks under the guidance of their 7th-year head coach, Danielle Henderson, who in 1999 took home the Honda Award as the top softball player in the nation. 1-1, another low fastball cut on and missed. And Bodrick works ahead 1-2. Bodrick pitched twice last weekend, both shutouts. And the first batter here today says, hey, it won't be a shutout. 2-2, swing and a miss. Bodrick limits the damage and strikes out 3 in a row. But the River Hawks are on the board first. They do it with 2 hits. The biggest from Courtney Cashman, the solo shot. 1-0, we head for the bottom of the first at Stony Brook.
All right, we're now in the studios of WSB for the first time today. Zach Wilson here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to give you your first scores and updates. And the first one we got going on today is the first of 3 sports in action for Stony Brook. Besides this, which you're listening to right now in softball, the women's lacrosse team currently on the road, taking on the New Hampshire Wildcats. It's halftime, and your Stony Brook Seawolves continue to be red hot, as they have been in conference play throughout their last 51 straight wins. Aiming for their 52nd straight win in conference play, they lead New Hampshire 15-2 after Taryn O'Miller captured the 15th goal of the game with just 2 seconds left. Should Stony Brook win in Durham and hold on to their lead, they will once again secure the America East regular season title and host the entire America East Women's Lacrosse Tournament. At 8 p.m. tonight, the Stony Brook women's soccer team, after they defeated the Binghamton Bearcats over a week ago in Lowell, Massachusetts, they are ready for action tonight at 8 o'clock. Game will be on ESPN3 as the Seawolves will play against the Ohio State Buckeyes, searching for their first ever win in the tournament play. And the winner of that game will be taking on the 11th seed Santa Clara of the West Coast Conference. Now we go back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. We head for the home half of the first inning here at University Field. Joined alongside Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. Jordan Herring steps in for Stony Brook, trailing 1-0 after the game-leading home run by Courtney Cashman off of Don Bodrick. First pitch delivered in there for a called strike to Herring. Hitting .324 this season for Megan Bryant's crew. 29 overall, 7-1 in the conference. This is the 1 against the 2. Herring shows bunt, clips it foul. And she's quickly behind 0-2. Herring in center field, followed by Kira McFarland, the second baseman, then Melissa Rarick at first. Shall we get to the cleanup spot in this first inning? It'll be held by Nicole McCarville. Capria delivers home. 0-2 misses high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Capria making her 10th appearance of the season, 7th start. 2-4 mark, a 3.57 earned run average. Already 5 complete games. 1-2, breaking ball, swung on and missed. 4 pitches, 1 out for Capria. And in steps the second baseman, Kira McFarland.
Herring badly fooled on that off-speed pitch. Looking dead red and was well out in front of a pitch that was well out of the zone.
McFarland, the left-handed swinger. 3-time America East Rookie of the Week. She shows bunt. Pulls back on a pitch outside. It's 1-0. March 15th, April 5th, April 20th. Those are the 3 weeks that McFarland has taken home the neophyte honor. 30 hits in 2021. Shows bunt again. Same result. Pulls back on an outside fastball. The count 2-0.
And both Ratcliffe and Macchio are now aware of it. They're both almost parallel to the pitching circle with how close they're playing right now.
Capria's 2-0. Low and away. And after the strikeout of Herring to begin this bottom half of the first frame, now 3-0 on McFarland.
Capria is almost out of the box, and she's not even swinging or showing bunt.
3-0 delivered right down Broadway. Don't think McFarland had the green light there. 3-1. McFarland had a hit in 4 straight games until the 0-for-3 effort on Sunday. 3-1 is Pooch down the third base line, and right on top of it, Sarah Ratcliffe. McFarland just barely got a piece of it to keep it in play down the third base line, but Ratcliffe playing in, as you noted, Karp, and able to make the play.
Well, McFarland gave away her strategy from the very beginning and then kept on trying it where she was already starting down the first base line.
First pitch high and back to the screen against Melissa Rarick.
Just kind of stabbed at that ball while she was almost out of the box. And I understand the strategy, but Ratcliffe was all over that.
Righty-righty matchup. 1-0 to Rarick. Breaking ball for a called strike. Capria took something off of that to the first baseman. Rarick, Stony Brook's leading hitter at 386. 4 long balls and 23 runs batted in. 1-1. Pop foul behind home plate. This will make the seats to count 1-2. Rarick already twice named the America East Player of the Year. Took home the honor in 2018 and 2019. Only one player has ever won it 3 times. That's Jamie Haas of Boston U. 1-2 fastball registers eye level. It's 2-2. Hits in 23 of the 30 games this season and has started each and every one. The pitch. Ground ball to short. Friendly hop for Cashman. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the River Hawks. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We've played 1 at University Field. 1-0 UMass Lowell on WUSB 90.1 FM.
All right, so now we head to the studios of WSB once more. Let's see what more action we got going on today. In Major League Baseball, our first innings beginning at 1 o'clock. At 1:10, Cleveland Indians hosting the Minnesota Twins. We got your locals in action tonight at 6:40 p.m. The New York Mets are in action as they look to try and stamp back after they lost 2-1 last night against the Boston Red Sox. Jacob deGrom, best pitcher in baseball right now, on the mound tonight at Citi Field. At 7:05 p.m., coming off of a 3-homer day against the Orioles, the Yankees continue their action in the Camden Yards tonight at 7 o'clock against Baltimore. At 1:40 p.m., it's the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Miami Marlins. At 4:10, the LA Dodgers hosting the Cincinnati Reds. At 7:20 on Fox Sports 1, you got the Atlanta Braves hosting the Chicago Cubs. At 8:10, the Houston Astros taking on Seattle. At 9:45 tonight, it's San Francisco hosting Colorado. Let's see what else we got going on today. In the NBA action yet last night, the Brooklyn Nets secured the playoff berth as they avoid the play-in tournament. You got the Philadelphia 76ers, who are second best right now in the Eastern Conference. They'll be hosting Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7 o'clock. At 7:30, the Knicks remain at MSG as they host the Chicago Bulls after their 9-game winning streak was snapped the other night by Phoenix. But Knicks are still in red-hot pursuit as they're a top 4 team right now in the Eastern Conference. Let's head back to University Field.
Thank you so much, Zach. A 1-0 score, UMass Lowell over Stony Brook as we head for the top half of the second inning. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. Batter at the dish is Abby Packard. The number 6 hitter takes a fastball just below the knees and the count 1-0. Packard to be followed by Tully and Mueller, the bottom of the River Hawks lineup, who got their lone run from the very top of their lineup at the very start of this game. 1-0 in the dirt, 2-0. Courtney Cashman a solo blast off of Dawn Bodrig. The same Dawn Bodrig that threw 2 shutouts last weekend in Stony Brook's 2 out of 3 against the Maine Black Bears. 14 innings, no runs with 22 strikeouts. I think maybe it just took 2 batters for Bodrig to settle in before she would strike out the side.
Well, Jordan Nowakowski has already gone out in the middle of this first at-bat to begin the second to talk to Dawn Bodrig, and perhaps she's missing her pitches right now, and Nowakowski is just settling her down.
Packard went 0 for 5 this past weekend against UMBC and looks at a fastball right down the middle, now 2-1. We noted it's a UMass Lowell team that had nearly 3 weeks of a layoff. Played on April the 3rd, a doubleheader against Maine, and then not again until last weekend against UMBC. 2-1 popped up, fell. Behind home plate, this will make the seats now 2-2. Packard had arguably her best game of the season in that final game before the layoff, Game 2 against Maine back on April the 3rd. 3 for 3, a double, an RBI, and a run. Trying to pick up where she left off at the beginning of the month. 2-2 pitch from Bodrig. Fastball high. Packard checked the hands and thought about it, went no further. And it's another 3-2 count. Top 2 teams in the America East with Stony Brook sitting at 7-1. River Hawks at 5-3. Infield and outfield at normal depth for the 3-2. And another foul ball hit by Packard. Good at-bat by the River Hawks second baseman. Freshman from Horseheads, New York. Back into the box. Roderick has the sign from Nowakowski. 3-2. On the ground, right side, slowly hit. Tough play for McFarland, and she makes it just in time. Slim margins for error on the softball infields, but McFarland smooth in and out of the mitt, and with one down, here comes Kayla Tully.
Well, it sort of goes without saying, but this team wins a lot of ball games when they don't commit errors. It is a conventional recipe for success for any ball club, but specifically with this team, the record reflects it.
First pitch to the righty. Nips the inside corner, 0-1. Do we have statistics to back that up?
Oh, we do, Johnny. Stony Brook is 14-1 this season when they don't commit an error. 14-1.
That's a good number. Second pitch comes right back to the pitcher, Podrick. Smooth over to first base, and 2 down quickly. And after the first 2 reached in the first inning, Podrick has now retired 5 in a row. Bodrig will face a lefty for the first time. Comes in the form of the number 8 hitter, the right fielder, Tori Mueller. Nobody on, 2 gone. Corners play in, and the first pitch is strike down the pipe. Mueller stepping out of the box as that pitch came in. 1-0 River Hawks over Seawolves, courtesy of the Courtney Cashman blast. Their 7th home run of the year. No River Hawk has more home runs in the university's history than Courtney Cashman. Second pitch, bunted, a good one. Down the third base line. At first, it is picked. Melissa Rarick comes up with a pick off the throw from Riley Craig. And it's a 1-2-3 second inning. Bodrig has now retired 6 in a row. No runs, no hits, nobody left on in the top half of the second. We played 1.5 at University Field. 1-0 River Hawks over Seawolves on WUSB.
And back in the studios of WSB. Let's see what more games we got going on today. At 5:30 in the NHL is the Vancouver Canucks against the Ottawa Senators. At 7 o'clock tonight on NBCSN, Minnesota Wild clinching their playoff berth, taking on the St. Louis Blues. At 8 p.m., the Montreal Canadiens taking on the red-hot Toronto Maple Leafs. 9 o'clock tonight, Winnipeg Jets hosting Edmonton Oilers. 9:30 after Minnesota and St. Louis on NBCSN. Vegas Golden Knights who secured the playoff berth taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Big-time battle in the West coming up. At 10 p.m., you got the LA Kings hosting the Anaheim Ducks. And at 10:30, the San Jose Sharks will take on the Arizona Coyotes. No locals in action for the NHL tonight. So let's see what's going on. As we have softball going on, let's see what else we got in the America East. The Binghamton Bearcats will be playing at Fordham today at 1 o'clock. And besides Stony Brook UMass Lowell doubleheader, you got Hartford UMBC in a doubleheader as well. Their first games begin at 1 p.m. Binghamton Fordham is actually going to be a doubleheader as well, with their first game at 1 o'clock and their second game starting roughly around 3:30. Only one top 25 game in action today in softball as 20th ranked Virginia Tech at Liberty, 7th ranked Oklahoma State versus Tulsa, and 25th ranked Notre Dame versus DePaul canceled due to impending weather. Back to Joe Nathan, back to the University Field.
We venture for the bottom half of the second inning here at University Field. UMass Lowell 1, Stony Brook 0. But just before we were able to get it back here on the dirt, hit by pitch to start the inning. First pitch plunked Nicole McCarville, the cleanup hitter. So one base runner on for Lauren Osmer. Righty. Osmer shows bunt and pulls back. Fastball was high, the count 1-0. Glad you could join us for a midweek doubleheader between Stony Brook and UMass Lowell. He's Jonah Karp, I'm Johnny Wincott, right here on WUSB 90.1 FM. First place against second place in the conference. Second pitch, bunt is shown and laid down. Right in front of home plate. Catcher out of her crouch. Seitman makes the play to first. Sacrifice successful. And McCarville representing the tying run now on second base. For scoring at home, goes down as a sack bunt, 2-3. And in steps the catcher, Jordan Nowakowski.
A sac bunt that does not affect your on-base percentage. Unlike a sacrifice fly, that affects your on-base percentage.
First pitch, taken for a called strike. And speaking of sac flies, nobody has more in the America East Conference than Jordan Nowakowski. Not quite that spot right here with a runner on second base in the form of McCarville. Second pitch popped up right center field and deep. Muller to the wall, makes the catch on the warning track. Moving from second to third is Nicole McCarville.
Well, there you go. Sacrifice fly does the job.
Two gone quickly, and it's up to the third baseman Riley Craig to try and extend this second inning.
What I thought was interesting, Johnny, about that at-bat, more specifically on the base paths, was that Nicole McCarville, who was on second base, wasn't taking any of a lead. It was almost like she was expecting Nowakowski to hit a sacrifice fly so that she could just tag from second.
Based on where they bat in the lineup, I think maybe been there, done that. First pitch, Craig clips this one into short right. Muller coming on, and she'll make another catch. And just like that, the leadoff hit by pitch is spoiled by Megan Bryan's club. No runs, no hits, one left, and after two at University Field, UMass Lowell 1, Stony Brook nothing on WUSB.
Thank you, Johnny. So we once again get ourselves back into the studios of WSB, and let's take another look into what scores we have going on so far today. And it looks like we got a lot more to see with Stony Brook women's lacrosse, and I guess there's really not much left to say about it. Half number 2 has started, and already a pair of goals on Stony Brook's end. 17-2, with just about 23 and a half minutes left before the women's lacrosse team claims another America East regular season title. So we'll see what other women's lacrosse games are going on right now. In the first half of the ACC quarterfinals in women's lacrosse, top-ranked North Carolina taking on the 8th seed Louisville. Tar Heels have an early 4-1 lead. Then later today at 2:30, another ACC quarterfinal matchup is between 4th seed Duke and 5th seed. It's 4th seed Notre Dame and 5th seed Duke. Then the third one happening at 5 o'clock today when the 2 seed Syracuse Orange hosting the 7th seed Virginia Tech Hokies. Then 7:30 tonight, you got the 3 seed Boston College Golden Eagles taking on the 6 seed Virginia Cavaliers. A lot of expectations is that the first of few seeds in the NCAA tournament will be occupied by the ACC teams. The Stony Brook trying to keep up their winning streak and win impressively in order to show that they could be a top 8 seed. We'll see what happens if they can't, but for now, we'll head back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Olivia LeBay, Courtney Cashman, Christina Rizzi. 9-1-2 due up for the UMass River Hawks against Dawn Bodrick. First pitch, paints the outside corner, 0-1. Jonah Karp, Johnny Wincott on hand on this Wednesday afternoon, a doubleheader. And a beautiful afternoon here at University Field in Stony Brook, New York. The pitch from Bodrick, fouled off into the netting.
We would call this an SPF 50 type of afternoon.
I'd bump that number up, Johnny. After the baseball doubleheader we did, nothing short of 70.
That was a deceivingly sunny day, to say the least.
Oh, you're right under the sun. 0-2 the count to LeBay. The pitch from Bodrick. Taken high, another fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's supposed to get up to 77 today.
Does the SPF correlate with the degrees at all? Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
The higher the temp, the higher the SPF?
The 1-2. Ground ball, a tapper right back to the pitcher, bobbled by Bodrick, who goes to first in time. 1 away in the top of the third. 1-0 the score, Stony Brook trailing. Nobody on base, 1 down, top of the third inning. Back to the top of the order.
You noted that brief bobble there by Bodrick, and we mentioned this in the first inning. Slim margins for error in softball, especially on a ground ball. So a lot of times you bobble, you don't often have the opportunity to get the out first, but Bodrick, cool, calm, collected, had the time to make the out.
And here's Courtney Cashman, who got the better of Bodrick in that first at-bat, a solo blast. And the first pitch is low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Cashman got a hold of one after a good at-bat and lifted it over the left center field fence. That's the difference right now. It's 1-0 UMass Lowell. The 1-0. Misses the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes.
What we failed to mention going into that first at-bat, she was in the midst of her longest hitless stretch of the season, which was only 3 games.
And then cranked one over the wall. That might get her going. The 2-0. Taken at the knees and inside, 3 balls and no strikes. So Dawn Bodrick is usually great with her command, and one of the reasons why she's one of the best pitchers in the conference is keeping pitches away from Cashman. Nobody on base with 1 down, the 3-0. Skips in the dirt, and that was about a foot in front of home plate. So Cashman walks on 4 pitches, and UMass Lowell has a base runner with 1 down in the top of the 3rd inning.
And that's Cashman's 19th walk of the season, easily the most on the River Hawks, and you get a taste just from the first few pitches of the game as to why pitchers walk Cashman so many times this season.
Cashman over at first. Rizzi, the new batter, 1 for 1 with the single. The pitch is a fastball up high, 1 ball and no strikes. Sarah Ratcliffe in the on-deck circle. Bodrick gets her pitch, delivers, fouled off, and out of play along the first base line. 1-1. The scorecard right now is very patterned. The home run, the single, the first 2 batters of the game, and then strikeout, 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 all swinging, then ground out, ground out, ground out, ground out. She swung through that pitch, Rizzi did. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Small sample size as Bodrick is just now getting to the lineup for the 2nd time around, but Cashman and Rizzi, the only 2 to reach, everyone else struggling.
Runner on first with 1 down in the top of the 3rd, the 1-2. Clips Rizzi on the knee, and she heads to first with a hit by pitch. So runners on first and second with 1 down in the top of the 3rd inning for Sarah Ratcliffe, the number 3 batter.
And that's certainly one Bodrick will want back. Her count against a good hitter. And you always want to make the hitters like Cashman and Rizzi have to utilize the bat, make them earn it. And neither of them did. Cashman gets on via the walk, and Rizzi the hit by pitch.
Ratcliffe a strikeout victim in the 1st inning, 0 for 1. 1 of 3 strikeouts today for Dawn Bodrick, who deals with runners on first and second with 1 down. The pitch is a fastball right down the pipe, count 0-1. Every River Hawk retired today except for Cashman and Rizzi, the first 2 in the order. Each 1 for 1 today, each have reached base twice, both base runners right now. The 0-1. It is right down Broadway again, 0-2. Sarah Seitman in the on-deck circle. There's 1 down in the top of the 3rd. It's 1-0 River Hawks. First game of a doubleheader. 0-2 the count, the pitch. Fastball high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Middle infield playing back, hoping for a double play to end the inning. 1-2 the count, the pitch. Taken upstairs, 2-2. The inning began with an Olivia LeBay ground out right back to Bodrick, who bobbled the ball briefly before shoveling it over to first base. Then a walk and a hit batsman. 2-2 the count, the pitch. At the knees, strike 3 called. Radcliffe down looking. 2nd time today she's gone down on strikes, and there's 2 down in the top of the 3rd inning.
We've got a great vantage point slightly to the left of home plate up the 3rd base line at Bodrick firing these pitches. You know, tip your cap to Courtney Cashman and everybody else. I'm not sure how they make contact. I mean, these balls are really coming in hard to Nowakowski.
Seitman, the new batter, the pitch, waved at and missed. Sort of a check swing, and Seitman at the very last second said, oh, nope, never mind. 0-1.
I just hope our crowd mic is doing it justice with the glove pump.
Runners on first and second, 2 down in the 3rd. 1-0 River Hawks, the 0-1. Waved at and missed. This one a full swing from Seitman. the cleanup batter. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout, down 0-2 in the count. Cashman off of second, Rizzi off of first. The pitch, well upstairs. Nowakowski had to pop up to grab it. Runners stay put, 1-2 the count. Maria Macchio in the on-deck circle. Siteman the batter, the pitch taken very low. The underhand grab by Nowakowski behind the dish. 2-2 the count. A slight breeze from right to left. The 2-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. So Bodrick gets out of the inning. Didn't give up a hit, but left 2 stranded. No runs across, no hits, 2 left on base. We're through 2.5. 1-0 River Hawks. Seawolves come to bat when we return on WUSB. Back to Zach in the studio.
Thanks, Jonah. So we're back here in the studios of WSB, and already a 20-burger for the women's lacrosse team with just 14 minutes left to go. They have not decided to stop getting really hot. They've taken now a 20-2 lead over the New Hampshire Wildcats with the 20th goal of the game for the Seawolves, captured by the freshman Ellie Macera, who has been leading the Seawolves today in draw controls at 7. Stony Brook well underway to hosting the America East Women's Lacrosse Tournament. Let's see what else we got action going on with women's lacrosse. Metro North Carolina and Louisville. 3 more goals for the Tar Heels as they extend their lead 7-1 over Louisville. At 1 o'clock, you got the Florida Gators, who are also a top 10 team, taking on the Liberty Flames down in Gainesville. And then at 1 p.m., we got an NEC battle as St. Francis is hosting Wagner. And at 3 p.m., another NEC battle, Bryan hosting LIU. So we got more action. Let's go now onto the men's side. 2 games happening today. One currently going on right now in the second quarter. Big East battle. Denver against Villanova. Denver has a 5-4 lead against the Wildcats. And at 4 p.m. today, it's an America East battle, a big one, as the Vermont Camels, before they host Stony Brook on Saturday, they will take on the UAlbany Great Danes. Back to University Fields.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at University Field, Jonah Karp, Jonny Wincott with you. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Stony Brook trails 1-0 against UMass Lowell. First game of a doubleheader. And the first pitch is cracked in the air, straight away center field, chasing LeBay back. Looks up, that ball is gone. First pitch swinging for Juliana Sanzone. Goes yard and knocks the game at 1. And right on cue, Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. Made famous by the 1998 smash hit Titanic.
You know, I think there was room on the door for 2, but I digress. That's Sanzone's first home run of the season, and it comes at a big time for Stony Brook.
Tie game at 1, brand new ball game. And the number 9 batter, Shauna Nuss, digs into center stage.
I wouldn't quite call it a Titanic blast, but it got over.
First pitch fastball is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. That was clever, Johnny. I don't know, it was over the batter's eye. The deepest part of the ballpark. The 1-0. Nuss square to bunt and went around. Strike 1. 1-1 the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-1. Jordan Herring is on deck. Pitch taken low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Shauna Nuss, another one of those batters that the Seawolves have that doesn't really get settled in the batter's box. Starts her approach down the first base line as she's swinging. 2-0 the count, the pitch. Cut on and missed. Well, that time took a full swing and just stayed put in the batter's box. Evens up the count at 2-2. Lavina Capria still in the pitching circle after 2 hitless innings. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Shauna Nuss goes down on strikes. Second strikeout of the day for Capria. And the other strikeout victim, Jordan Herring, is the new batter. So we've cycled once through the batting order. nobody on base, 1 down, 1 run home in the inning, 1-1 the score. The pitch to Herring, waved at and missed, 0-1. The rays of the sun parting through the clouds. Pitch, bunted down the third base line, closing in Radcliffe, the third baseman, no throw. By the time Radcliffe got to that ball, Herring was about a stride near the bag, and Radcliffe had no play. An infield single for Jordan Herring, bunts her way on.
Could not have asked for a more picture-perfect bunt up the third base line from Herring, and that's what you want out of your speedster, your leadoff hitter. Her 152nd single, she's got the most in school history.
New batter, Kira McFarland, first pitch to her. She shows bunt, doesn't go around. The pitch was taken low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. So Herring, a 1-out base runner, stands on first with 1 run home in the inning, bottom of the third. The pitch shows bunt again, takes a pitch high and away. 2 balls and no strikes. McFarland did a lot of this in her first at-bat back in the first inning. Ended up grounding out on a check swing to Radcliffe, the third baseman. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch is taken right down the middle. 2-1. Melissa Rarick on deck with Herring over at first. The pitch waved at and missed, strike 2. 2-2 the count. This is a red-hot Stony Brook team. Winners of 4 of their last 5. The pitch taken low and away for ball 3. Throw down to second. Runner took off. Safe is the call over at second base. Jordan Herring swipes the bag, and it's a full count to McFarland.
9th thief of the season for Herring on 10 tries.
I love that you call stolen bases thieves.
I can't just keep calling it a stolen base the entire game.
The payoff is popped up, staying in the infield, closing in LeBay, the center fielder, called off by Cashman, the shortstop, makes the catch behind the second base bag. And that's the second out. So Herring stays put at second base. Runner in scoring position, now 2 down in the bottom of the third. Melissa Rarick, the new batter. The journey of a baseball season, or in this case softball, gets fairly monotonous. You got to change up the vocabulary. I get it. Pitch taken at the knees for strike 1 to Rarick.
All right, sometimes you say the pitch was low, it's at the knees, below the belt. You know, diversify the lexicon.
Yeah, 1. Popped up foul behind home plate and out of play. Quick 0-2 from Capria to Rarick. That's the fun of being a baseball broadcaster or a softball broadcaster. Get to play with the vernacular. Runner at second, 0-2 the count. The pitch, fastball away. 1-2.
Sometimes it being a spectacular vernacular.
Oh, what is this, Seinfeld? Harry got second, the pitch. Cut on, grounded down to third, and it's past the line. Coming home to score, Herring, staying put at first base with an RBI single, is Rarick. And it's 2-1 Stony Brook. Three hits in the inning. That one an RBI single for the number 3 batter, Melissa Rarick, and Stony Brook takes the lead. Second run home in the inning. Nicole McCarville, the new batter. First pitch is upstairs.
And that was an absolute rocket down the third base line by Rarick. And credit Ratcliffe, who did get a piece of that. Not an easy play to get the whole thing.
The pitch, grounded foul. Down the third base line, 1-1. McCarville was hit by a pitch in her first and only plate appearance. Runner on first with 2 down. Bottom of the third inning. Lindsay Osmer on deck. Rarick on first with an RBI single. The pitch upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. This dugout is fired up for Stony Brook. And on the other side, the River Hawks have gone silent. The pitch lifted out to right field. Drifting back is Mueller, makes the catch right on the edge of the warning track. That'll do it for the bottom of the third, but not before Stony Brook scores twice. 2 runs across on 3 hits, including a solo blast from Juliana Sanzone, first pitch swinging. We're through 3, 2-1 Stony Brook. Back to Zach in the studio.
Thanks, Jonah. So, back in the studios of WSB, as the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team continues to pound the New Hampshire Wildcats, they now take a 21-3 lead. 5 Seawolves with hat-tricks today, the latest to enter that category, Kira Asatella. Stony Brook just 7 minutes away from their 8th straight American East regular season title and looking to try and put a little chipper into breaking into the top 8 seeds once the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament comes eventually. Now make it 22-3 as Ellie Macera captures her second goal of this contest. So, let's go on to the college baseball side. Only 3 top 25 teams are in action today. 11th ranked Texas Tech at 1 p.m. will be taking on the New Mexico. And at 3 p.m., 9th ranked Oregon taking on San Jose State. Baseball America came out with their bracketology this morning. Still has Stony Brook entering the NCAA tournament as the auto bid from the American East despite the series loss to NGIT. And things change up. The week before, they called Stony Brook as the 4th seed to take on Knoxville, the Tennessee Volunteers, and now they have them going to Eugene to take on the Oregon Ducks. At 5 p.m., another Pac-12 team, 18th ranked Stanford at Pacific. Back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. 2-1 Stony Brook after 2 runs across in the last half inning. Top of the 4th. Back on the mound, Dawn Bodrig. Maria Macchio, the first batter she'll face. First pitch to her. Cut on and missed. Right down the middle. Just beat Macchio on that pitch. 0-1. 5, 6, and 7 in the UMass Lowell batting order. Packard and Tully behind Macchio. The 0-1 from Bodrick. Taken downstairs right at the shoe tops of Macchio. 1-1. Macchio 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. 1 of 5 today for Bodrick. The 1-1. Popped up down the third base line, fouling out of play. 1-2. Has not been the cleanest performance of Bodrick's career. A walk, a hit batsman. Gave up a home run to Courtney Cashman in the first at-bat, and then a single to Rizzi ultimately left her stranded. The 1-2. Fastball just misses the outside corner and evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
To be fair to Bodrick, the bar is set rather high in terms of cleanest performances. She does own a perfect game and a no-hitter.
Yeah, well, she did that to herself. It's no one else's fault but hers. The 2-2. Fastball just misses the outside corner. Count runs full. Last time these two teams met before today, it was 2019 in the America East playoffs. That one went to Stony Brook. The pitch fouled off, back into the netting. Count holds at 3-2. That was a tight ball game. Same score as today, a 2-1 Stony Brook final score. The Seawolves today with 3 hits, 2 runs across. 2 hits for the River Hawks, just the 1 run. The pitch. Chopper back over the mound, shuffling over McCarville. The shortstop puts out Macchio for the first out of the top of the 4th. So 1 down for Abby Packard. Jonah Karp, Johnny Wincott with you on the longtime home of the Seawolves, WUSB Stony Brook. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. Packard 0 for 1 with the ground out. First pitch to her. Misses downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Brad Trent calling the balls and strikes today. Jim Stewart over at first, Joe Martin at third. Nobody on base with 1 away in the top of the 4th. The 1-0. Dents the inside corner, 1-1.
This is a River Hawks team that's still looking for their first base runner of the day, not named Christina Rizzi or Courtney Cashman.
Each 1 for 1 today. Each have reached base twice. The pitch is popped up, staying in the infield, drifting over to her left. Kira McFarland, called off by the shortstop McCarville, makes the catch over her left shoulder for the second out. I was doing some research in between innings.
Glad you're paying attention to the broadcast.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out if a Seawolf is a real creature, because all this time I thought it was fictional, and even if a River Hawk was real, because I've never heard that in existence either. First pitch to Tully is taken at the knees, but inside, 1-0.
Boy, I'm glad that wasn't a ground out right there.
You're just on the edge of your seat, man. So a Seawolf is real. They're rare, but, you know, by definition, they're wolves who like the sea. They can swim. The pitch is swung on and missed, 1-1. And a River Hawk is a little bit more common, better known as an osprey. River Hawk being a nickname. We're here to entertain and inform. So 1-1. Waved that and missed at a high pitch.
If I'm not mistaken, there is a Division I NCAA team that is the Osprey. I'm gonna take a stab and say North Florida. We'll get back to you later on in the broadcast on that.
I think you might be right on that. The 1-2. On the inside corner, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 6 for Dawn Bodrig. A 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. Still 2-0 Stony Brook as we head back to the studio with Zach Wilson. Zach?
Thanks, Jonah. So now we return to the studios of WSB. And as we are just 50 seconds away from the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team getting the America East regular season title for the 8th year in a row, the game has just went final. On May 6th and May 8th, Canby Laval Stadium will host the America East women's lacrosse tournament. Your final score at Durham, Stony Brook 22, New Hampshire 4. The Wildcats got one more goal before the end of the game after Julia Nayland got the assist from Riley Leonard. The first assist all day long for the New Hampshire Wildcats team, who will not be entering the America East Women's Lacrosse Tournament this season. Don't forget that today would usually be the time for Campus Connect, featuring an interview with Atiba Rogers. It's supposed to be at noon today, but the show will be coming up just in May, probably sometime as early as next week. So, Stony Brook and New Hampshire did seem like that was the only America East Women's Lacrosse game in action today, as action in America East Women's Lacrosse will resume on Saturday, including the Stony Brook Women's Lacrosse team trying to cap out another perfect America East record. They have 52 straight wins, and now they will look, it's actually 51 it would seem, as they now head for 52 straight when they host the UMBC Retrievers on Senior Day. Tickets are available back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. First pitch was high to Lindsay Osmer. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Jordan Nowakowski on deck, and Riley Craig behind her. 2-1 Stony Brook over UMass Lowell. The pitch is taken downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Osmer hit into a sacrifice bunt to move over Nicole McCarville back in the 2nd inning. Pitch tapped back to the pitcher, picked up by Capria, who makes a short toss over to first. 1 down. So Johnny and I were talking in the last half inning about both mascots, and UMass Lowell being the River Hawks, Stony Brook being the Seawolves. Mentioned Stony Brook, the Seawolves we thought was fictional. It's actually a real thing. The River Hawks, a nickname for an osprey, much more common creature. And Johnny said after this pitch, downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes to Jordan Nowakowski.
Famous first 2 words of a sentence.
Johnny said that he was going to venture a guess that there was a Division I school who had the same mascot in Osprey. Pitch is tapped foul to the left of home plate, and he guessed North Florida, the University of North Florida. And so we did some research. I did. Johnny doesn't know the answer.
You make it seem like in between every break I'm off just, having a beverage or something while you're doing the research.
Johnny just sauntered back to the booth, and I was doing the research. Pitch is fouled off, 1-2. And he's right. The University of North Florida is nicknamed the Ospreys.
And you wonder why I'm not doing research in between the innings? It's because I know everything already, Jonah.
The pitch is cracked down the line in left field, rolling to the corner, a base hit. Taking a wide turn over at first, Nowakowski strides into second with a one-out double. First hit of the day for Jordan Nowakowski, and Stony Brook has a runner in scoring position with one down in the bottom of the fourth.
And Nowakowski was one of the Seawolves' best hitters, not just this season, but this past weekend when they took 2 out of 3 from Maine. 4 for 6 in the final 2 games. That included a homer and a double in the 7-0 shutout win. And an extra base hit here to put her in scoring position. Stony Brook could use the insurance. This is a very talented River Hawks team.
Riley Craig, the new batter, with a runner over at second. The pitch is check swung at and fouled off. 8-1.
That might have been ours.
That hit the top of the netting, and had it clipped the netting and come back down on, in foul territory on our side and out of play, the pitch is upstairs, taken for a ball, 1-1. That might have hit us.
Might have had a chance. Jonah brought his glove to the ballpark, as he always does. I'm sorry,
not.
Okay, my bad.
The pitch is waved at, softly hit, falling in left field, diving is Tully, and can't come up with it, has to play it on a bounce. Everyone is safe as Nowakowski moves over to third, and Craig slides over to second. 2 in scoring position with 1 down in the fourth.
Craig busting it out of the box. One of those where, off the bat, it might be trouble, sort of that Bermuda Triangle area in short left field. And she was almost on second base by the time that ball was even recovered. So Craig going hard into second. And good base running by Nowakowski just to take a few steps off the bag and waiting for that to hit turf.
Nowakowski holding up. Had Tully come up with a catch. And Nowakowski taken off for third. She would have been easily double up. So 2 in scoring position. Sanzone, who hit a blast over the center field wall. 1 for 1 today, is in the batter's box. First pitch strike. Right at the kneecaps, 0-1. So when I associate Ospreys with athletics, the 0-1 is line down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. No, that's a foul ball. I thought that for sure was fair. Everyone was running and busting out of the gate. And instead, that's going to be a lengthy strike 2.
Yeah, to be honest with you, first glance, and we've got a good one based on our vantage point, I thought that was fair as well, but not one person has said anything about the call.
Cut on and miss, strike 3. Ends up being a 3-pitch strikeout. So still 2 in scoring position. Craig at second, Nowakowski at third. Jonah Nuss, the new batter. And a 2-1 Stony Brook lead. Well, what I was saying is, when I think of athletics and Ospreys, I go a little bit closer to home, the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League.
Of course, well known.
Tapped foul to the left of home plate. Nuss showing bunt. Count 0-1. The North Fork Ospreys, I think they're called.
Why don't I give that one another try?
It's like I don't even live here.
Do you even go here?
North Fork. The pitch. Taken outside.
Not to be confused with the great city of Norfolk in Virginia.
Definitely not Norfolk.
Home of the Norfolk Tides and Scope Arena.
The North Fork Ospreys of the HCBL.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
The 1-1 is punched foul behind home plate. Nuss continuing to show bunt with 2 outs. And now 2 strikes in the count, so I'd imagine going to have a different approach at the plate. Two in scoring position. Nowakowski at third, Craig at second with 2 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1 Stony Brook over UMass Lowell. Both corner infielders playing in. Actually, all 4 infielders playing in, but at the corners, shaded in heavily. The pitch. Tapped foul. This time a full swing. Nuss will retrieve back to the batter's box. Capria trying to get out of a jam. Keeps this just a 1-run margin. The pitch, waved at and missed. Strike 3, inning over. Nuss tied up, ended up going all the way around with her swing. And Capria pulls a rabbit out of her cap to get Shauna Nuss swinging and leave 2 stranded in scoring position. No runs across on 2 hits, 2 left on base. We're through 4. Stony Brook 2, UMass Lowell 1. Riverhawks come to bat when we return on the longtime home of the Seawolves, 90.1 FM, WUSB Stony Brook. Back to Zach.
Thanks, Jonah. So, back in the studios of WSB, let's see what else we got with women's lacrosse. North Carolina and Louisville still in the first half in the ACC quarterfinals down Chapel Hill. North Carolina has a 9-4 lead with 5.5 minutes left to go before halftime. Louisville trying to keep their pace despite being the lowest seed in the ACC tournament. Let's see what else we got in men's lacrosse. The third quarter just began between Denver and Villanova. The Pioneers and the Wildcats are all tied up at 5. At 4 p.m. today, America East men's lacrosse, Vermont Catamounts will be hosting the UAlbany Great Danes in the critical battle of the America East. Both teams are in the playoffs, but which one will have the higher seed? This game could most likely determine it. On the women's lacrosse side, after we talked about North Carolina and with your Stony Brook women's lacrosse team taking down New Hampshire 22-4 for their 8th straight America East regular season title, at 1 p.m., the Florida Gays, also a top 10 team in the nation, hosting Liberty. And then more ACC quarterfinal games later today. Notre Dame hosting Duke, Syracuse hosting Virginia Tech, and Boston College hosting Virginia. Back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Jonah Karp, Johnny Wincott on hand, top of the 5th inning. 2-1 Stony Brook over UMass Lowell in Game 1 of this doubleheader between the top 2 teams in the America East standings. Stony Brook coming into this game having played a number of more games than UMass Lowell this season. 21-9 is the overall record. 21 wins for Stony Brook as Mueller calls for time in the box and steps out. 21 wins. Meanwhile, UMass Lowell has only played 19 total games. They're 9-10 overall, 5-3 in conference. First pitch from Bodrig is waved at and missed, strike 1. And the Seawolves 7-1 in conference play. That's tops in the America East.
Sort of a microcosm of the unique circumstances heading into the season this year where everyone's just going to be at a different level of ready.
The 0-1. Fastball. Paints the outside corner, 0-2 to Mueller. Tori Mueller, the number 8 batter, 0 for 1 today. Olivia LeBay on deck, also 0 for 1. Corner infielder shaded in, 0-2 the count from Bodrig, and the pitch to Mueller. Waved at and missed, strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Dawn Bodrig, first out of the top of the 5th.
And she's about to face Olivia LeBay, which would be the second time through the order, and still holding true. Cashman and Rizzi, 1-2 for the Riverhawks, the only base runners for the Riverhawks.
Nobody on base right now. 1 down in the top of the 5th inning. It's 2-1 Stony Brook. Olivia LeBay, the new batter. Bodrig ready to go. Into the windup, the pitch is tapped foul and off the glove of Nowakowski. Comes up a little bit shaky. Perhaps that hit a bit forearm. Buys some time. 0-1 the count to LeBay. The sun has come out here in Stony Brook. And right over our heads, Jonny is newly capped.
Newly capped with an old cap.
Is that an angler's cap?
That is a Chatham Anglers hat.
Of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the 0-1. Misses the outside corner and a little bit low, 1-1.
Should say that just before that pitch, nice job by home plate umpire Brad Trent doing the typical, I'm going to sweep off home plate even though it's pristine because the catcher needs some time.
The 1-1. Lifted down the line in left field, and that's a foul ball. Just another long strike for Olivia LeBay, who saunters back to center stage with a 1-2 count.
You know, you brought up the Chatham Anglers.
I did.
You did. When I was there, Zach Short on the roster, just made his Major League debut. Younger brother playing for Stony Brook, Brady Short. That would be Stony Brook baseball.
Who's practicing over at Joe Nathan Field right now. The pitch. On the inside corner, strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the top of the 5th inning for Bodrick. 2 down, nobody on base. Back to the top of the order with Cashman.
We noted that Cashman and Rizzi, the only base runners. Let's take it one step further. Since the first 2 batters, the home run by Cashman, the single by Rizzi, Bodrick hasn't allowed a hit.
8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch. 2 hits allowed for Bodrick. Another day at the office. First pitch to Cashman is taken upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Cashman's been the big thorn in Bodrick's side today. One of the 2 hits that Bodrick allowed was a solo blast to begin the first inning. That came off the bat of Cashman, lifted over the left field fence. Fastball, taken at the knees, but low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. And since then, 6 straight pitches out of the zone from Bodrick to Cashman. Walked on 4 pitches in the 3rd, and now is ahead 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch, well outside, ball 3. Christina Rizzi on deck. Nobody on base, 2 down, top of the 5th, 2-1 Stony Brook. Bodrick into the windup, the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. So for the 2nd straight time, Cashman walks on 4 pitches. Bodrick not giving Cashman, the 400 hitter, anything to hit. And she's on base with 2 down in the 5th.
Yeah, you sort of beat me to the punch. Was going to say, how do you treat someone who is a career .429 hitter? That's how. You throw pitches that are nowhere near the strike zone.
Well, there you go. Helps out the on-base percentage, though. Rizzi, the new batter, and the first pitch to her is taken. First strike right down the middle. 0-1. It's been Cashman and Rizzi. Cashman 1 for 1, has now reached base 3 times. Rizzi 1 for 1 with a single and a hit by pitch. Reached base twice. This pitch on the inside corner, 0-2. Runner on first with 2 down in the top of the 5th inning. Bodrick ahead, 0-2. The pitch to Rizzi. Popped up, staying in the infield. That might go into foul ground along the 3rd base line. Shuffling over, Craig makes the catch above her head. And that'll do it for the top of the 5th. So Bodrick gets out of a bit of a jam by her standards. No runs, no hits. 1 left aboard after 4.5. Stony Brook 2, UMass Lowell 1. You're listening to Stony Brook Softball and the longtime home of the Seawolves, 90.1 FM, WUSB Stony Brook. Back to Zach in the studio.
Thanks, Jonah. So back in the studios of WSB, America East Softball today. Despite Stony Brook, UMass Lowell, you also got Binghamton and Fordham, along with Hartford and UMBC, both teams in their doubleheaders. Their game should be happening in just a matter of moments. Meanwhile, we got college baseball to talk about today. 1 game in action in the top 25. 11th ranked Texas Tech hosting New Mexico in a matter of minutes. At 3 p.m., 9th ranked Oregon taking on San Jose State. And 18th ranked Stanford at Pacific at 5 p.m. tonight. No America East games going on in college baseball today. Meanwhile, you got MLB action to talk about. The Cleveland Indians will be hosting the Minnesota Twins in about 5 minutes. Then at 1:40, the Brewers will be taking on the NL East opponent in the Miami Marlins. At 4 o'clock, you got the LA Dodgers hosting the Cincinnati Reds. And then you got locals in action tonight. The Mets hosting the Boston Red Sox. Jacob deGrom taking the mound. And at 7:05, the New York Yankees will be staying at Baltimore, coming off of their win last night against the Orioles, staying in the Camden Yards. At 7:20, Atlanta Braves hosting Chicago Cubs. At 8:10, Houston Astros hosting Seattle. At 9:45, the Giants hosting the Rockies. Back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at University Field. First pitch swinging for Jordan Herring, and she lines out to the 3rd baseman, Sarah Radcliffe. on the first pitch she sees. So a quick first out in the bottom of the fifth. A 2-1 Stony Brook advantage. First game of this doubleheader between Stony Brook and UMass Lowell. And now the pitch to McFarland is taken outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Jonah Karp and Jonny Wincott with you on this Wednesday afternoon from University Field. The 1-0 to McFarland, taken low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, of course, the recipe is to pitch outside to anybody who's going to shuffle out of the batter's box and head down the first base line before she even starts her swing. The 2-0 misses the outside corner, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Right now, Lavina Capria, who's through 4 1/3, has missed the zone now 3 straight pitches. Nobody on base with 1 down. The pitch is taken high for ball 4. McFarland reaches base on a walk, the first time today that she's reached base. And the Seawolves back in business here in the 5th inning. A 1-out base runner for Melissa Rarick. Delivered an RBI single back in the 3rd. 1 for 2 today. First pitch to her. Right down the pipe. Count 0-1. McFarland at second base. 1 down. Bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch. Catches the outside corner for strike 2. McFarland has not been caught this season on the base pass. She's 5 for 5 in stolen base opportunities. Pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stony Brook leads 2-1. Nicole McCarville on deck. The pitch is laced over the head of the 3rd baseman, Radcliffe. That's a foul ball. The count holds at 1-2. A softly hit punch over the 3rd baseman's glove, and Rarick will walk back into the batter's box. The 1-2 misses outside, 2-2. Runner on first with 1 down in the 5th. The pitch. Chopped foul down the 3rd base line. Count holds. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Clearly Rarick raring to go, still ahead of these pitches. In fact, was more out in front of that pitch than she was in the one that just blooped over Ratcliffe's head.
I see what you did there.
Credit Capria. Mixing it up between the fastball, the off-speed, just keeping the timing off.
The 2-2. Skips in the dirt. Good stop by Seitman to keep the runner at first base. And the count runs full. McFarland at first. She walked. 1 down in the 5th. 2-1 Stony Brook. And a chance for more. Capria with the payoff. Chopped. Down to short, could be 2, an errant throw over to second, everybody's safe. It rolls down to first, scooped up by Macchio. Going first to 3rd, McFarland on that error, and reaching base safely is Rarick. Runners at the corners with 1 down in the 5th.
You could ill afford to have plays like that against a team like Stony Brook. The first place team at 7-1 just suffered their first America East loss this past weekend. You have a chance to turn 2, should have at least been an automatic 1, and instead you get none. And now the meat of the Stony Brook lineup with the cleanup hitter McCarville coming up.
And the entire infield converging. Met by Danielle Henderson, the 2-time America East Coach of the Year. Neither team uses a lot of pitchers. UMass Lowell this season using a total of 4 pitchers, and Stony Brook using a total of 3. So you have to imagine this is Capria's game to lose. Meeting over. Runners at the corners for Nicole McCarville. 0 for 1 today.
Stony Brook going to utilize a pinch runner as the trail runner. Danielle Petrovic will come in for Melissa Rarick.
Petrovic at first, McFarland at third. One down, the pitch. Chopped foul down the third base line, 0-1. Lindsay Osmer on deck. 2-1 Stony Brook. Chance starting from the Stony Brook dugout along the first base line. The pitch is popped up. Shallow center field. Ranging back is Packard, called off by the center fielder LeBay, who makes the catch as she's running inward to keep everybody at bay, and that's the second out of the fifth. Now bring up Lindsay Osmer. Try to get a run home, tack on some insurance here in the fifth inning. With McFarland at third and Petrovic at first. Osmer is 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Hit a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning. Runners at the corners with 2 down. Capria to Osmer, right on right matchup. First pitch, right down the middle, 0-1. Capria delivering from the stretch, ready to go. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. Quick 0-2 the count to Osborne. Nowakowski would be next. McFarland at third. Petrovic at first, the pitch. Tapped foul behind home plate. Petrovic took off from first, will go back. Count holds at 0-2. Capria delivers. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Capria gets out of another jam. No runs, no hits, but a walk and an error leaves 2 on base. Runners at the corners. We're through 5. Stony Brook leads 2-1. You're listening to the longtime home of the Seawolves, 90.1 FM, WUSB Stony Brook. Back to Zach.
Thanks very much, Jonah. And we have Stony Brook breaking news to report. We did mention before that the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team has just captured their 8th straight America East regular season title, but more breaking news. The 10th head coach in women's basketball history has just been announced. The newest women's basketball head coach to come to IFCU Arena, Ashley Langford. After she played at Tulane and is the program's record holder for assists, games started, and minutes played, she joined Auburn as a graduate assistant while on her way to becoming an eventual college basketball head coach, which she now is. A press conference at IFCU Arena will be held for her on Friday at 11 a.m. She has been everywhere before. She has spent 4 seasons with James Madison as their assistant head coach, helped the team to a 91-31 overall and 58-11 conference record over her tenure, as well as 3 CAA regular season titles. While under the thrall of head coach Sean O'Regan, she was elevated from assistant coach to assistant head coach before this past season, has helped recruit and coach 14 CAA all-conference selections, and has helped along with the 28th overall pick in the 2020 WNBA draft. Let's get back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. We head for the top half of the 6th inning at University Field. Dawn Bodrig's first pitch pelts the strike zone to the count, 0-1. Stony Brook 2, UMass Lowell 1. First run, or the lone run for UML, came on their first batter of the game, a solo shot from Courtney Cashman. Since then, Bodrig is settled. Only 1 hit allowed. Second pitch registers above the letters. The count runs 1-1. Meanwhile, for Stony Brook, they played both of their runs in the bottom of the 3rd on a solo shot by Juliana Sansone and an RBI single by Melissa Rarick. The Seawolves looking to move to 8-1 in conference. The 1-1 swung through and missed by Ratcliffe. The count quickly 1-2. In fact, the only base runners today for UMass Lowell have the last name Cashman and Rizzi. 3 through 9 have failed to reach. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bodrick has the sign. She deals home. Ripped left side and through. It's a base hit. Into the corner, recovered by Sansone. And it's a leadoff single for Sarah Ratcliffe. And now only the first 3 batters in the lineup have reached. Here comes the catcher and cleanup hitter, Sarah Seitman.
That's what we call in the business a broadcaster's jinx, folks.
Gave him the mush. This is game 1 of 2. Doubleheader today between the first and second place team in the America East. Third baseman Craig creeps in for Siteman with the tying run on first. First pitch clipped foul into the netting, 0-1.
A full swing for Siteman, and yet both Craig over at third and Rarick at first are running rapidly in toward home plate.
Siteman struck out swinging in the first, struck out swinging in the third. Shows bunts and misses. Snap throw down to first, and not in time. That might have been the hardest throw of the day. Came from the catcher, Nowakowski.
Got a cannon back there.
2 strikes on Siteman. Bodrick, the America East leader in Ks with 181. Long look home, 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Siteman down on Ks for the 3rd time in game 1. And with 1 down, that brings in Macchio. Ninth strikeout of the afternoon for Bodrick, who, as noted last weekend, threw a pair of shutouts against Maine. Did so by picking up 22 strikeouts. Runner on first. First pitch delivered right down Broadway, 0-1. Macchio also hitless in a pair of at-bats. Struck out swinging in the first, grounded out to short in the 4th. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Jonny Wincott. Glad you're with us at University Field as we make our way toward the end of the America East season. A 1 pitch is flared foul down the third baseline. You could hear on our crowd mic someone saying it's foul, it's foul. And they're right.
Helps us out.
1 run on 3 hits, 1 blunder for UMass Lowell. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors committed by Megan Bryant's crew. The 0-2, clip foul again. Good piece of hitting by the first baseman Macchio. The at-bat will live for at least 1 more pitch. And the count remains 0-2 with Ratcliffe on first base. Macchio, the senior from Feeding Hills, Massachusetts. Righty-righty matchup, the 1-2. Pop foul again. This one will make the seats. The Ratcliffe single to start this top half of the 6th inning. The first hit for the River Hawks since their second batter. Cashman homered as the first batter. Rizzi singled as the second batter. And then nothing until that Ratcliffe knock. Home plate umpire Brad Trent. It's a new shipment of softballs. We'll do the 1-2 again. Here it comes from Bodrick. Low, ball 2. Tip your cap to Macchio as the at-bat continues to roll on, with Bodrick mixing and matching different locations and speeds. Macchio doing everything to stay alive. Ratcliffe on first. 1 out here in the 6th. The pitch. Another foul ball. Right back into the screen, still 2-2. Macchio entered the contest 5 for her last 11, as noted, 0 for 2 though today at University Field. Bodrick a 2-2. Breaking ball called, strike 3. After an at-bat that featured 4 foul balls, Macchio goes down looking. And after the leadoff single, 2 set down now for Abby Packard.
See, a lot of times pitchers have their best stuff the first time, possibly the first 2 cycles through the batting order. Don Bodrick seems to be getting better as the game goes on.
First pitch to Packard, wave and a miss at a breaking ball. Had the second baseman fooled. Another first pitch strike, it's 0-1.
I mean, sometimes, pitchers need that first cycle or so to get a feel for their breaking pitches. That might be the case. Not leaving pitches in the zone like she was.
Second offer. Fouled off the tippy top of the netting, and this one does go over the netting. Not in our direction, though. The count 0-2.
Bodrick is just in control right now. Fun to watch.
She's got a league best 184 strikeouts, 10 today, 22 last weekend. And a chance to strike out the side here with a runner on first. The 0-2. On the outside corner, strike 3. 11 Ks for Bodrick. And she's out of the jam in the top half of the 6th. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left stranded. We'll go to the home half of the 6th. Stony Brook 2, UMass Lowell 1 on WUSB 90.1 FM.
All right, so back to the studios of WUSB we go. Let's see what we got going on. First MLB game of the day is underway. The Twins with already a 2-0 lead over Cleveland with nobody out. We got more action going on in the pros today, especially tonight in the NBA at 7 p.m. Cleveland Cavaliers will be hosting the Orlando Magic. And you also got the 76ers taking on the Hawks at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. At 7:30, no LeBron James yet to return, but AD is once again ready to take his way down in Washington as he faces off against Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. At 7:30, the Boston Celtics, coming off of a hard loss, will be taking on the Hornets. At 7:30, you got your local, the New York Knicks, hosting the Chicago Bulls, looking to reinvent a winning streak after their 9-game winning streak was snapped back on Monday to the Phoenix Suns. At 8 p.m., you got Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat hosting the San Antonio Spurs. At 9 p.m., the Memphis Grizzlies hosting the Portland Trail Blazers. At 9 p.m., Zion Williamson heading to Denver to take on Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. And at 10 p.m., you also got the Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers to battle between the second and third best teams in the Western Conference. And at 10 p.m., you got Utah Jazz down in Sacramento taking on the Kings. Back to University Field.
First pitch of the bottom half of the 6th inning, high to the catcher Jordan Nowakowski. The count 1-0. The score 2-1. Stony Brook over UMass Lowell here in game 1 of 2 in this doubleheader. Second offer laced down the left field line. Fair ball for Nowakowski. Takes a big turnaround first, but pumps the brakes right there. And Nowakowski 2 for 3 after 4 for 6 effort on Saturday against Maine.
Seen a lot of those pulled down the line. A lot of right-handed bats in this Seawolves order. And so just waiting on a pitch, center of the zone, and pulling it right down the line. A lot of space down those lines. Your conventional ballpark setup with the curvature along the wall. Nothing funky going on with this fence.
Stony Brook, for the second time in as many innings, are going to utilize a pinch runner. Nowakowski removed from first. She's replaced by the sophomore Emma Campbell. As the left-handed swinging Craig steps in, shows bunt and pops it up. It's caught at third. Sarah Ratcliffe on a beeline towards home plate, nearly overran the softball, but leaped to make the catch. An unproductive first out by Stony Brook. Campbell stays at first, and in steps Juliana Sansone.
Great base running by Campbell, or lack thereof.
First pitch high to Sansone, 1-0.
Yeah, I'm sure when you replace as a pinch runner, you're eager to make something happen on the base paths, but you stand too far off of first, get fooled, and then get doubled up. That was good.
Second pitch to Sansone, clipped foul down the third base line. Got a piece of UML's dugout. Count a ball and a strike. Sansone provided Stony Brook with their first run back in the third inning, a solo shot, their first of the season. They would tack on their second run later in the third. 1-1 pitch, a fastball high and outside. The count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Campbell primarily used as a pinch runner. She's played in 6 games this season, hasn't attempted a stolen base though.
2-1. Popped up, short left field, Tully on the run. She won't get there, but it bounces foul. Cat evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And an emphatic foul call by Brad Trent, the home plate umpire.
Sansone hitting in the 8th spot for Stony Brook. Shauna Nuss waits on deck. In a 2-1 game, Stony Brook leads. 2-2 pitch. Outside. It runs full, 3-2. Sansone, the freshman. That was her first collegiate home run in the third. She's used to hitting dingers, though. The pitch. Outside, ball 4. A senior-like at-bat for the neophyte. And 2 are aboard with 1 down. And the right fielder, Jonah Nuss, digs in.
What I like about softball, Johnny, is a lot different than baseball. Not a whole lot of time between pitches. Just everyone's ready to go. From the time the inning starts to the time the inning ends in business.
Yeah, if you're a baseball fan who has something to say about the pace of play, softball might be your sport.
Yeah. Listen, we're in the 6th inning. We only play 7 innings. And it's what? Not even 90 minutes into the action? Take that.
Pinch hitter for Nuss is Dye. First pitch delivered on the inner half for strike 1. Brooke Dye, the sophomore infielder, standing at 5'4". In a big spot here in the bottom of the 6th as Stony Brook looks for a little bit of insurance for Dawn Bodrick. 2 on, 1 gone, the pitch. Swung on and nicked foul just behind home plate. And quickly, another 0-2 count. I think that's been part of the success today for Lovina Capria, making her 7th start of the season for the River Hawks. Hasn't seemed to fall behind in many counts. As I say that, she did walk the last batter, but for most of the day, she's been pretty darn good. The 0-2, missed off the outside corner. Good spot to be on an 0-2 pitch. Count runs to 1 and 2 on the pinch hitter, Brooke Dye. Campbell leads off at second, pinch running for Nowakowski, who singled. Sansone on first. Here's the pitch. High and away. All the noise being generated down the first base line, the Stony Brook dugout. Two. Low, ball 3. And now Capria in danger of walking back-to-back batters. The 8 and 9 batters, with Jordan Herring in the top of the order due up next. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes from Capria. Foul ball behind home. Good piece of hitting by Dye. Of course, never easy to sit on the bench the first 5+ innings. Grab the lumber, then try and make an impact. Certainly not making it easy for Capria. 6 starts prior this season for Capria. 5 complete games. She's ready, the pitch. Fastball, barely missed. Just a little high and off the outside edge. Back-to-back walks, and for the first time today, Stony Brook has the bases loaded.
And remember, Johnny, of course, Capria would love to have a double play to end the inning, but the last time UMass Lowell was in a double play situation and had a chance to convert, turned into an error where everybody was safe. That was a ground ball over to Courtney Cashman, who threw the ball away, and, well, perhaps, that's in the back of her mind. Not to, throw anything in the atmosphere, but everyone on UMass Lowell right now a tad shaky.
Long mound meeting featuring their head coach Danielle Henderson, the entire infield. Stony Brook will utilize Jonah Nuss to replace Brooke Dye at first, so they do the old swap for swap. Dye hits for Nuss, now Nuss runs for Dye. All bases occupied by Seawolves. And the top of the order, and Jordan Herring steps in. Singled in the third, came around to score on Rarick's single. That right now is the difference. First pitch poked foul down the left field line, 0-1. Herring, the grad student, making her 187th Stony Brook appearance today. Her 186th start. 0-1. Fastball taken high, 1-1. Nowhere to put the grad student, with Campbell on third, Sansone on second, and Nuss on first. Stony Brook leads 2-1, bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch. Taken high again. 2 balls and a strike on the center fielder.
86 pitches for Capria.
We'll see what she has left in the tank for a 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good fastball, outer half. And now Caprio one pitch away from working into and out of trouble here in the home half of the sixth.
And Herring upset with that one. Thought she just missed one.
Righty slinger, lefty swinger. The pitch. Breaking ball, chopped on the ground, first base. They'll go to second for, or rather to home for one and get the lead runner. Headsy play by Macchio. They eliminate Campbell at home plate. Everybody else moves up a bag. And with two gone, it brings up Kira McFarland, trying to extend this bottom half of the sixth inning.
And with all the time Macchio had to throw, I think if she would have stepped on the first base bag before coming home, and you want to get the lead runner, especially in this situation, but that could have been an inning-ending double play because she got Campbell by a mile.
And took the sure out. Now two down. Lefty McFarland digs in. Showed bunt briefly. Pulled away the count 1-0. All bases still occupied by Seawolves here in the home half of the sixth. In a 2-1 contest, Seawolves had played 8 consecutive games decided by 4 or fewer runs until Sunday. 1-0 misses high as well, 2-0. That was a 7-0 win against Maine. So while Stony Brook is used to winning games, they are used to winning close games. This falls under that umbrella. Capria's pitch is foul behind home plate. There's a chance, and it's dropped. Not an easy play for Sarah Seitman, who had to find the softball and shed the mask almost simultaneously. But she did get a fat piece of that softball, could not hang on.
And she had to shove Brad Trent out of the way, who was in his spot, but
that's about where the ball landed.
Right. Unfortunately, his spot was obstructing the view of Seitman.
Well, just the first strike of the at-bat. Now 2-1. Capria deals home. Lifted deep to left. Some room for Tully. She's there and makes the catch. Lovina Capria works into and out of trouble in the bottom of the sixth. No runs on one hit, and Stony Brook leaves the bases loaded. But the Seawolves are 3 outs away from victory. 2-1 contest. We head to the top of the seventh on WUSB.
All right, so now let's head to here the studios of WSB. Time to get a little more scores and updates. Let's see if this is the last time today. In softball, bottom of the first inning between Fordham and Binghamton, scoreless. In the top of the second, it's Hartford up to bat, but the Retrievers have scored a run and lead 1-0. All 4 America East teams in action, 5 America East teams actually, will have their game 2 in a little while. Just one top 25 softball game today. 20th ranked Virginia Tech playing at Liberty at 6 p.m. 7th ranked Oklahoma State versus Tulsa and 25th ranked Notre Dame versus DePaul were canceled due to impending weather. Let's see what we got with men's lacrosse. Villanova and Denver tied up at 7 heading to the fourth quarter. At 4 p.m., Vermont hosting Albany in a pivotal America East battle. In the second half between North Carolina and Louisville, the Tar Heels continue to stretch their lead. They now have forced a running clock. They lead 15-5 against the Cardinals. In the first half, Florida with an early 8-0 lead against Liberty. In the first half, Wagner with a 5-3 lead over St. Francis. At 2:30, Notre Dame hosting Duke. And at 3 p.m., you got trio of games. Bryant hosting LIU, Detroit Mercy hosting Robert Morris, and Monmouth hosting Fairfield. Now we go to the top of the seventh at University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Stony Brook just 3 outs away from their 8th America East victory in 9 tries. We thank you for joining us midday on a Wednesday afternoon at University Field. First pitch from Bodrick to Tully, righty, is above the letters 1-0. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. Stony Brook 2, UMass Lowell 1. River Hawks got on the board with their first batter of the game and have not returned since. 1-0. Fouled off into the netting behind home. Nice catch made by Nowakowski. It won't count. Count 1-1. It was a Cashman home run in the top half of the first inning. Stony Brook didn't respond until the bottom of the third. Did so with a home run of their own, the first in the collegiate career of Juliana Sanzone. Bodrick readies for a 1-1, delivers home. Called strike on the inner half, now 1-2. Stony Brook would pick up their second run later in the third on a Riddy single by Melissa Rarick. Only 3 runs in the contest here in the top half of the 7th. Bodrick has the sign. 1-2 pitch. Popped foul. Left side and out of play. Just over our broadcast setup. Shaded slightly on the third base side of home plate.
Didn't flinch, Johnny.
You didn't flinch? Is that what you meant to say? Or me?
Well, both of us.
Okay.
Neither of us.
Another try for Bodrick. Off speed, missed upstairs. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bodrick has 8 shutouts this season. Will not get one today, but has an opportunity to pick up her 13th win. The pitch. Slashed right side and caught in foul ground. Melissa Rarick just to the right of the first base bag. 1 down and 2 to go for the Seawolves. In steps the number 8 hitter, Tori Mueller.
Tilly just getting one off the bat, trying to go with that pitch. Got it too far off the bat and was late. So slashed it into foul ground, but Rarick positioned perfectly right next to the first base bag to make that grab.
Mueller, a left-handed swinger. First pitch bunted foul. So what, nobody's getting more work today in this game 1 than the home plate netting. I need to check the elasticity at the end of this one. No balls and a strike on Mueller. 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. As Dawn Bodrick looks to go for another complete game. 0-1, wave and a miss. Bodrick had her fooled. It's 0-2. River Hawks with their 1 run on only 3 hits. And 2 of them came from the first 2 batters of the game. Jonah mentioned Bodrick seems to only get better as the game goes on. Right on cue, it's a 3-pitch strikeout. Another one swinging for Mueller. And Olivia LeBay, the last hope for the UMass Lowell River Hawks here in game 1.
12 strikeouts for Bodrick today.
Had 22 over the weekend with 14 scoreless innings against Maine. Bodrick, who started the day with a 12-4 mark and a 1.28 earned run average. LeBay, a right-handed swinger. Center fielder digs in 0 for 2. First pitch, a called strike at the knees, 0-1.
It's just amazing when you consider how this game started with a solo home run off the bat of Courtney Cashman, who, by the way, has reached base 3 times today. You figure, well, maybe that rattles the pitcher. Nope, she just settles right in.
The 0-1. High for a ball. Now, important to get LeBay here if you are Bodrick. Jonah, you just noted, Cashman's been aboard each and every plate appearance today. If she does get up, she'll represent the go-ahead run. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bodrick slings home, popped up. Left side of the infield, this should do it. Craig underneath. She makes the catch, and Stony Brook wins game 1. For the 8th time in 9 America East contests, Stony Brook is successful. And it's another close contest. They take it by a final of 2-1.
Well, the story of the day is Dawn Bodrick. At least the story in game 1 of this doubleheader is Dawn Bodrick. 12 strikeouts, a magnificent performance when you take out that first home run. Or really, all the plate appearances for Courtney Cashman today. The home run, 2 walks. Christina Rizzi was also excellent at the plate. Ended up going 1 for 2 with a single, a hit by pitch, and then that pop out was the only time she was retired. But Dawn Bodrick was just exceptional today. Another day at the office, and perhaps that sets the tone for game 2 of this doubleheader.
Yeah, the final line on Bodrick, she goes 7 innings. It's another complete game for the Canadian. Allows just 3 hits. The lone run is the home run, first batter of the game. She strikes out 12, walks 2, and does it on 121 pitches. The River Hawks had 6 base runners in game 1. 3 of them were Courtney Cashman. The home run, the walk, and the walk. 5 out of the 6 were Cashman and Rizzi in the 1-2 spot. But 3 through 9, Dawn Bodrick was in control and picks up her 13th win of the season, moving to 13-4. The 1.28 ERA will get lower, not by much, but it will get lower. as Stony Brook moves to 22-9 overall. 8-1 in the America East, and that's a big win because if UMass Lowell grabs game 1, we're potentially battling for first place here in game number 2. Instead, the River Hawks are now 5-4 in the America East. They're just trying to stay afloat and above 500. They're 9-11 overall. Again, your final in game 1, Stony Brook 2, UMass Lowell 1. Took 1 hour and 40 minutes. It did so in front of a somewhat healthy crowd here, midday, midweek. Can't ask for too much. He's Jonah Karp.
Healthy when you're getting vitamin D.
He's Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott.
Team's ready to go, as are Johnny and I. Cashman, Rizzi, Radcliffe, the 3 due up against Rarick. Into the windup. Here's the first pitch of game 2. Taken downstairs, ball 1 to Cashman. First pitch coming in at 2:09 p.m. on this Wednesday afternoon. Cashman reached base all 3 times. She stepped up to the plate in the first game. The 1-0 pitch from Rarick. At the knees on the inside corner, strike 1 called. Another sparkling outing, another day at the office for Dawn Bodrig in that first game with the 12th strikeout performance. The 1-1. Taken low, 2 balls and 1 strike. But the one thorn in her side, thorn for Dawn, was Courtney Cashman. Reached base all 3 times. She stepped up to the plate. 2 walks on 8 pitches. And of course that solo blast. The pitch chopped left side of the infield, shuffling over Craig, the third baseman, throws out Courtney Cashman. First out at the top of the first inning. That's the side of the infield that Cashman sparkles at. Instead, retired by Riley Craig over at third. There's 1 down, nobody on base in the top of the first inning. No score for Christina Rizzi. The catcher went 1 for 2 in the first game. Right on right matchup. The pitch from Rarick, waved at and missed at a low pitch, 0-1. Nobody on base with 1 down. Sarah Radcliffe on deck. The 0-1 sits low. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is a beautiful field, University Field. Not a lot of bleachers, but a lot of places to sit. 1-1 the count to Rizzi. Pitch outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And on a day like today, the hot metal bleachers might not be option number 1. Might be go find some shade on the hill underneath a fat tree.
What are you trying to say? The 2-1. Grounded left side of the infield, past the diving Craig and into left field. Scooped up by Sanzone, and the left fielder throws it back into second. A 1-out single for Christina Rizzi. And a 1-out base runner for the River Hawks here on the top of the first inning.
Well, the River Hawks only have 4 hits today, and 2 of them are owned by Christina Rizzi.
So now the first half of this Sarah combination in the middle of the River Hawks batting order. Radcliffe, the first one. Sightman on deck. First pitch to Radcliffe. At the knees, strike 1. Rizzi off of first with 1 down in the top of the first inning. Radcliffe, the third baseman. Another right-on-right matchup against Rarick. Delivers. And paints the outside corner for strike 2. Melissa Rarick, one of the trifecta of pitchers that Stony Brook has. Now 22-9 this season, the Stony Brook Seawolves after that victory. The 0-2. Taken upstairs, the fastball, 1-2. Comes into this game with a .266 earned run average. 8 wins on the season in 13 appearances, 7 games started. Has 4 complete games. Ahead in the count 1-2 with a runner on first. The pitch. Taken at the shoe tops of Radcliffe, 2-2. Just to give you an idea of how dominant Dawn Bodrick is, she came into game one with 174 strikeouts on the season. 174, and posted 12 in that first game. 2-2 the count, the pitch. Laced foul along the right side out of play, count holds. And so now she's up to 186 on the season, Bodrick is. Second on that list on the team is Melissa Rarick, or Rarick rather, who's in the circle right now. She's got 51. The pitch. Tapped foul again, back into the netting. Count remains 2-2. Runner on first. One down in the top of the first inning. The pitch. Laced foul again, out of play along the right side. Good battle here. Rarick and Radcliffe with Siteman on deck. Shadows starting to peer in. A lot of trees in the outfield. The 2-2. Hit sharply on the ground, through for a base hit. Into left field, scooped up by Sanzone. Second consecutive batter she's had to do work with. And the tables are set with one down in the top of the first inning for Siteman.
That's a great at-bat by Radcliffe. Spoils a few pitches, knocks a few others foul. And now he singles in consecutive at-bats. Was able to single in the 6th inning in game 1. Does it here in inning 1 of game 2.
Siteman, the designated player. The pitch from Rarick is tapped on top of home plate, a foul ball. Count 0-1. Siteman went 0 for 3 in that first game. 3 strikeouts. All 3 swinging. That was just par for the course against Bodrick. Runners on first and second. The pitch from Rarick. Tapped foul, right of home plate. Into the Seawolf dugout. Rarick quickly ahead, 0-2. Maria Macchio on deck. Radcliffe on first, Rizzi on second. One down, no score, top of the first inning. The 0-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Siteman not seeing the ball well today. That's her 4th strikeout in as many at-bats. Now 2 away in the top of the first for Macchio.
I think the big test in this game for the River Hawks is going to be, can they generate anything from the middle to the bottom of their lineup? Did absolutely nothing in game number 1.
First pitch. Taken downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Runners on first and second. 2 away in the top of the first inning, no score. The 1-0. Tapped foul, left of home plate, 1-1. Maria Macchio went 0 for 3 in the first game. 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging, and a ground out sandwiched in between. Abby Packard on deck. 2 down in the top of the first inning. Rarick peers in to get her sign from Nowakowski. The pitch misses outside. 2-1. Runners on first and second. 2 away in the first. The pitch. Ground ball, left side, backhanded by Riley Craig, who steps on the third base bag to retire the side. Riley Craig does it herself to get the force at third. And Melissa Rarick gets out of some trouble in the top of the first inning. No runs on 2 hits, 2 left aboard. After a half inning, Stony Brook comes to bat for the first time in a scoreless ball game. Let's send it back to the studio on 90.1 WUSB FM.
Thanks, Jonah. So, back in the studios of WSB for great scores and updates during Game 2. Let's take you in with the softball action. Here, as you listen to Stony Brook and UMass Lowell with the America East, more games in action. In the top of the 6th, UMBC, with the second-best conference record, has a 5-0 lead on Hartford as they have Game 2 against each other after Game 1. In the bottom of the 4th, the Fordham Rams with a pair of runs as they lead the Binghamton Bearcats 2-0. They will also be engaged in a doubleheader today. No America East baseball scores today, and we have got 2 MLB games currently going on right now. In the bottom of the 3rd, Cleveland Indians at bat, but 7 runs in the first 3 innings by the Minnesota Twins. They have an early 7-1 lead on the Indians. After 2 innings, the Miami Marlins with a 2-0 lead over Milwaukee. More games in the MLB today, as you got the Dodgers hosting Cincinnati and your locals in action tonight. The DeGrom and the Mets taking on the Red Sox tonight at 6:40. And at 7 o'clock, the Yankees playing at Baltimore for Game 2 of their series. Back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Stony Brook comes to bat for the first time in Game 2 after winning 2-1 in a close first game of this doubleheader. Jordan Herring leads things off against Riley White. Kira McFarland behind her, Melissa Rarick batting third. First pitch, swung through, 0-1. Rest of the batting order, Nicole McCarville, Lindsay Osmer, Jordan Nowakowski, Riley Craig, Juliana Sanzone, Shauna Nuss. The batting order in Game 2. The pitch, taken low and away, ball 1. Count 1-1. No score in the bottom of the first inning. Melissa Rarick left 2 stranded in the top of the first inning. The 1-1. Lifted in the air, left center field, chasing Tully back, still back, makes the catch on the warning track and bangs up against the fence. Great catch by Kayla Tully out in left field to retire Jordan Herring, 1 down.
I gotta say, Tully was pretty cool, calm, and collected throughout that entire process. Was barreling pretty hard toward the wall, made the catch, knew exactly where she was on the field, maybe got some communication from her center fielder, LeBay. Either way, nice play to retire the leadoff hitter, Herring.
That was hit well out to left field. First pitch is over the middle. 0-1 to Kira McFarland. That's a metal fence out there. So you know now that Kayla Tully's playing left. Olivia LeBay is playing center. Tori Mueller out in right field. The 0-1. Misses outside, ball 1. Sarah Radcliffe at third, Courtney Cashman at short, Abby Packard at second, Maria Macchio at first. Behind the dish, Christina Rizzi, Riley White, the hurler, the pitch. Right down Broadway, 1-2. Kira McFarland, the second baseman, reached base on a walk. That came in the 5th inning of Game 1. Other than that, 0 for 3. Nobody on with 1 down in the bottom of the first. The pitch. Waved at and missed. Strike 3. First time today that McFarland's gone down on strikes. A quick 2 outs for Riley White in the bottom of the first. And now Melissa Rarick will dig in with nobody on base and 2 down. Rarick, the Shohei Ohtani of the Stony Brook Seawolves. First pitch taken at the knees, strike 1.
She's from Japan, right? Is that what you meant?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you had let me finish.
Get on with the chlorophyll.
The 0-1. Taps foul, a check swing back into the netting, 0-2. She hits, she pitches, does everything. Worked out of a jam in the first to keep the game scoreless. And now into center stage. Nobody on base with 2 down in the bottom of the first. The pitch. Well outside. That's ball 1. Rarick was down halfway down the first base line. Jim Stewart making the calls, calling balls and strikes. The pitch skipped away from Christina Rizzi, but I don't know. The 1-2. Misses outside, ball 2.
Yeah, he's claiming that Rarick, who was hit by the pitch, leaned into the pitch and brought her back as she was headed down to first.
2-2 the count. The pitch. Laced, hard hit, right side into the outfield for a base hit. Scooped up by Tori Mueller, who tosses it back into second. Melissa Rarick delivers a hard hit single with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, now she could thank Jim Stewart. She gets back in the box, a hard hit single into right field, and that'll look a lot better in the box score than the hit by pitch. Similar result. Stony Brook gets their first base runner on for the cleanup hitter McCarville.
It helps everyone out. Fastball. Darts over the outside corner, 0-1 to McCarville. If you're Riley White, you don't want a hit by pitch on your resume. Pitch waved at and missed. Quickly 0-2.
Splitting hairs there. I'm not sure the pitcher rather give up a hit or a hit by pitch. Either way, I think the pitcher would just like to see no base runners.
Well, sure.
Won't make a difference if she could work through McCarville.
Runner on first with 2 down, bottom of the first. The pitch. Laced foul along the right side and out of play. Count holds at 0-2. Nicole McCarville batting cleanup and playing shortstop, second consecutive game. She was hit by a pitch. First base runner of game 1 rather, for Stony Brook. Pitch is hit high in the air into foul ground along the right side, and that'll twist out of play again. Only time she reached base today was that hit by a pitch, and then flew out twice. Lindsay Osmer on deck. Melissa Rarick at first. No score, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. The 0-2. Taken high, 1-2. White trying to get out of this inning. Unknotting the score. Pitch is hit to left field. It's dropping quickly, and that'll one-hop the fence out in left center field. Scooped up by the center fielder, LeBay. Tosses it back into second. A 2-out double for Nicole McCarville as Rarick stops at third. 2 in scoring position for the Stony Brook Seawolves and Lindsay Osmer, who digs in.
Really couldn't put it in a better spot if you're McCarville. Equidistant between the left fielder, Tully, the center fielder, LeBay. Certainly an opportunity there to send Rarick, not the fleetest of foot on the Stony Brook roster. Would have been a play at the plate if that was the case. Megan Bryant's been here for 21 years. I trust her judgment over there.
First pitch. And misses outside, 1-0. So 2 2-out hits for the Seawolves. A single by Rarick, a double by McCarville. Puts runners on second and third. The pitch is grounded right back to the pitcher, White. Picks it up on a hop and tosses to first to retire the side. Stony Brook leaves 2 stranded in the bottom of the first inning. No runs on 2 hits and 2 left aboard. We're through 1. Couple goose eggs on the board. Let's go back to the studio with Zach Wilson. Zach?
Thanks, Jonah. So we're back here in the studios of WSB. Let's put up some Stony Brook news. We got 3 sports in action today. The women's lacrosse team finished up their game today with a smothering 22-4 win over the New Hampshire Wildcats. 22 goals is the most that the Seawolves have scored in a game since the 2018 America East Championship. The Seawolves' best season as of now. That clinches their 8th straight America East regular season title and will have May 6th and May 8th play host to the America East Women's Lacrosse Tournament at Kenneth P. Laval Stadium. Your second piece of Stony Brook sports is this game. Stony Brook softball in Game 1 and Game 2 today. And your third Stony Brook sport in action tonight at 8 p.m. The Stony Brook women's soccer team, once again champions of the America East, will be in Gary, North Carolina, and East Carolina University is where they'll play their round 1 game against the Ohio State Buckeyes of the Big Ten Conference. Winner takes on the 11th seed Santa Clara, who are champions of the West Coast Conference. We got more softball action to talk about. Besides this game, it's still 2-0 for them in the bottom of the 4th against Binghamton, and it's still UMBC up 5-0 in the top of the 6th. Both Binghamton And UMBC and Hartford have their game 2 in a little while, but for now, back to University Field.
Thanks, Zach. Top of the second inning, no score. Abby Packard, Kayla Tully, Tori Mueller, the three due up for the UMass Lowell River Hawks in the top of the second inning. Game 2 of a doubleheader between UMass Lowell and Stony Brook. Jonah Karp and Jonny Wincott with you on this Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for spending it with us. Stony Brook looking for the sweep and looking to improve to 8-1 in conference play. Scorching hot right now, this Seawolves team. Winners of 5 of their last 6. First pitch to Packard is bunted, popped up, foul. Popping up Nowakowski. Try and grab that. Popped up a little bit too late. That wasn't popped up the ball all that high. So an eventful first strike. 0-1.
We like eventful strikes. Better than the uneventful ones.
0-1 the count to Packard. Rarick with the pitch. Misses inside, 1-1. Kayla Tully on deck, Tori Mueller behind her. Each team with 2 hits, each team with 2 left on base in their respective half innings. Rarick rubs the ball on her thigh and delivers the pitch. High chopper over the mound, shuffling over shortstop McCarville. Goes to first in time to retire Packard. 1 down.
We joke around about eventful and uneventful. I just love that in this sport, there is no such thing as an uneventful ground ball. Again, those slim margins of errors with everything so tight. You have to be perfect, and it happens very quickly. And even though that ball hopped over the pitcher, Rarick, you had McCarville there who was smooth in and out of the glove by the second base bag.
Well, sure. I mean, you could argue every ball put in play is an event unto itself, but the ones that look easy, I think you would describe as uneventful. First pitch is up and away, 1 ball, no strikes to Tully.
And I know it's easy to say, if you're a baseball fan, well, every time the ball is put in play, right, it's important, it's eventful. You get plenty of very casual fly balls or ground balls. Everything here just seems to be sped up to a different level.
The 1-0. Hit sharply on the ground left side. Another play for McCarville goes to first in time. This one was less eventful than the first one.
That's about as uneventful as the ground ball is going to get.
Didn't have to move. It was hit right to her. Just picked it up at the shoe tops, tossed it over to first. A quick 2 outs, both 6-3 in your scorecard.
And oftentimes you see, casual grounder, you get it, you take a step or two, you cock back a little bit. You don't have time for any of that. You have to be extremely smooth and nearly perfect on every ground ball.
Nobody on base with 2 down, no score. Top of the second inning. Here's Tori Mueller. First pitch from Rarick. Taken for a strike on the outer half, 0-1. Mueller batting 8th, playing right field. Went 0 for 3 in game 1 of this doubleheader. That 2-1 Stony Brook victory. 0-1 the count. The pitch from Rarick. Misses low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was Brad Trent calling the balls and the strikes in the first game. Jim Stewart behind the dish in game 2. Nobody on with 2 down. Top of the second. No score. The 1-1 to Mueller is lifted foul and into the netting. Left of home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Olivia LeBay would be next to cycle through the batting order. 1-2 the count, the pitch. Tapped foul, left of home plate, and that sails out of play. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. A warm Wednesday afternoon here at University Field. 77 degrees, the warmest day we've had since the summertime. The pitch upstairs, ball 2.
Beautiful day for 2, as Ernie Banks would say.
Beautiful day for 2.
Or a beautiful day, let's play 2. Maybe I was paraphrasing. You get the point.
2-2 the count, the pitch. Tapped right back to the pitcher, Rarick, who fields it on a hop and tosses to first. A 1-2-3 inning for Melissa Rarick and the Stony Brook Seawolves. No runs, no hits, nobody left the board after 1.5. 0-0 is the score with Stony Brook coming to bat when we return on 90.1 WUSB FM, the longtime home of the Seawolves. Back to Zach Wilson in the studio.
Thanks, Jonah, and we already have many people at Stony Brook praising the fact that Ashley Langford is officially the new women's basketball head coach. As Gabe Lazo and Bree Hutchin has followed Caroline McCombs, the former Stony Brook Seawolves women's basketball head coach, to George Washington, we can be looking at a very clean slate. Some little Long Island news to get into with sports. St. John's Athletic Director Mike Craig has a new contract that goes up to 5 years. The old deal was up in 6 months. The old deal was going to be up in 6 months. But St. John's has tried everything they could to try and work their way by looking good. Men's basketball almost had a chance to go to the NCAA tournament this past season, but fell in the quarterfinals to Seton Hall. Women's basketball working on there, and lacrosse probably get there in a little while. Meanwhile, in the women's lacrosse land, the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team defeated New Hampshire 22-4 to claim their 8th straight America East regular season title. In the ACC quarterfinals, the North Carolina Tar Heels with a mounting 19-6 victory over 8th-seeded Louisville ends the Cardinals season. And you also got in the second half right now in Florida, the Gators with a 15-2 lead over Liberty. Back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Jordan Nowakowski takes the first pitch strike and the second pitch to her. It misses outside, 1-1. Riley Craig, Juliana Sanzone. Those were the three due up. No score in the bottom of the second inning. Riley White worked out of some trouble in that bottom of the first. The pitch, waved at and missed, strike two. That game one was the first time these two programs met in about 2 years, the playoffs in 2019. Cut on and missed, strike three. Second strikeout of the day for Riley White. Both of them swinging. One down in the bottom of the second. So each of the last two times these teams have played each other, it ended with a 2-1 Stony Brook final score. Seawolves, winners of 12 of their last 15. 5 of their last 6. First pitch outside to Riley Craig. 1 ball and no strikes. Craig went 1 for 3 in the first game. 2 pop flyouts and a double. The 1-0. Lifted foul over the netting and out of play. 1-1. This is Seawolves team that has a penchant for close games. Games within 4 runs. Pitch on the outside corner, strike two. 1-2 the count. They had 8 consecutive games decided by 4 runs or fewer. That was snapped by a set at Maine in their game before last. So now 9 of their last 10. Slapped over the glove of the third baseman, Sarah Radcliffe. It rolls down the line in left field. Pulling in at first safely is Riley Craig with a 1-out single. Third hit of the day for Stony Brook. And that brings up Juliana Sanzone, who has the best walk-up music on the team. My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. They played it when she walked up to the plate and then played it after she hit a home run. Can't get enough of that. First pitch, taken at the knee, strike one.
Great song, great movie. Not necessarily the first song you think of when it comes to hype, though. But hey, whatever works. Whatever works, to each their own.
0-1 the count. The pitch to Sanzone is popped up. That's staying in play. Well, now it's going into foul ground, and it's caught above the cap of Sarah Radcliffe, the third baseman. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning for Riley White.
If there were ever a foul ball that was coming to our broadcast setup, I think that's about as close as it was going to get.
I was worried for a little. Riley Craig at first, 2 down, bottom of the second. The pitch is poked at and taken for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Shauna Nuss, with a runner at first and 2 down in the bottom of the second. What would be your walk-up song, Jonny?
Ooh, man.
Hey, you're criticizing Celine?
I didn't criticize it. I think I said great song, great movie. Just
Pitch over the outside corner, 1-1.
Just not, if someone said, hey, give me a list of 10 songs that hype you up or 10 songs that really get you pumped. For me, and I think a lot of other people, that probably wouldn't crack the list.
Not your cup of tea. The 1-1. Taken downstairs, 2-1.
Again, nothing against the song.
No, I understand. Just doesn't fit the mood. I get it.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting at.
It's not the vibe. I mean, it seemed to work for her, but...
Not the vibe for, if I'm stepping into the box.
The 2-1. Tapped foul into the netting, 2-2.
I know I didn't answer your question. Do you know which song you would use?
Yes. Twilight Zone.
Okay.
By Golden Earring.
Okay.
Good driving song.
I thought you were going Twilight Zone theme song.
2-2 is lifted in the air, shallow left field, drifting back to shortstop Cashman, who makes the catch as he's backpedaling, and that'll do it for the bottom of the second inning. So Riley White works around a base runner, no runs across on 1 hit and 1 left aboard after 2. We're still knotted up at 0. Riverhawks come to bat, and Jonny Wincott has the call when we return on the longtime home of the Seawolves, 90.1 FM, WUSB Stony Brook. Back to Zach.
Thanks, Jonah. So back in the studios of WSB, let's get you more with more women's lacrosse updates. As Florida and Liberty continue their game, the game went final actually. The Gators defeat the Flames 17-2. In a matter of minutes, Notre Dame will host Duke in the second game of the ACC quarterfinals. The third one will be at 5 o'clock tonight when 2-seed Syracuse, who played Stony Brook back in February, will host the Virginia Tech Hokies. And then tonight at 7:30, up in Boston College, it's the Golden Eagles hosting the Virginia Cavaliers. Great game to watch. At 7 o'clock tonight, Marist hosting Siena in MAAC play. At 3 p.m., you got Fairfield and Monmouth, along with Detroit, Robert Morris, and Bryant, LIU. At 4 o'clock, you got Patriot League battle to watch. Lehigh taking on American. Presbyterian Delaware State postponed due to issues, COVID or weather-wise. So back onto the softball side of America East. Besides the game you're listening to, top of the 6th inning, Fordham still leads Binghamton 2-0. And the game went final between UMBC and Hartford. In Game 1, the Retrievers win 5-0, as Game 2 will be in a little while. No America East baseball scores. Will now go back to University Field. Jonny Wincott on the call.
Thank you so much, Zach. We've entered for the third inning here at University Field. We are scoreless in Game 2 of a doubleheader. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Jonny Wincott. 9-1-2. 2 up for the Riverhawks against the right-handed pitcher, Melissa Rarick, who rears back on her first throw, low for ball 1. Game 1 of the doubleheader went to Stony Brook, a 2-1 final. For the Seawolves, that pulls them to 8-1 in conference play, good for first place in the conference. Riverhawks, with a sweep today, would have had the opportunity to tie Stony Brook atop the AE. 1-1 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. First at-bat of Game 2 for Olivia LeBay. Righty-righty. Rarick delivers. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter. Both teams threatened in the first inning and then went down rather quietly in the second inning. 1-2. Breaking ball. Missed. Low and away. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. I almost thought I'd called it incorrectly because the Stony Brook infield came in as if it was strike 3. I think they're just very supportive of Rarick.
And Olivia LeBay was headed back to the dugout.
2-2. On the ground left side, speared by Craig. She's been great at the hot corner. Swiftly over to first and 1 down. Six in a row retired by Rarick. The last 4 via the ground ball. We flip the lineup card and head to the most dangerous hitter on this Riverhawks lineup, Courtney Cashman. No, you don't have to actually flip it, Jonah. Nope. Okay, you're good. Cashman reached base in all 3 plate appearances in Game 1. First offer, delivered ankle high, 1-0. And as the first batter in Game 2, she grounded out to Riley Craig.
I was just listening to you, Jonny. Do whatever you tell me.
That's a dangerous sentence. 1-0 pitch home. Slashed open the netting down the first baseline. Foul and out of play. The count 1-1. River Hawks generating all the energy in their dugout. The 1-1 misses outside. And I credit both of these teams for the creative cheers throughout the first game plus today at University Field.
Reminds me of summer camp.
Summer camp. 2-1. Slashed into right field. Backtracking Nuss and makes the catch just in front of the warning track. Well struck ball by Cashman. And that'll bring up Christina Rizzi with 2 down here in the third.
I don't know if many people understood that Fairly Odd Parents reference, but that was very funny.
It's a fairly odd reference. 2 down, bases wiped clean. The catcher Rizzi steps in. She's been aboard 3 times in 4 plate appearances today, included a first inning single in game 2. Righty. First pitch lifted down the left field line. Fair ball, and it rolls to the corner. Sansone up with it as Rizzi chugs into second base. It's a stand-up 2-out double for the Riverhawks catcher. And the first runner in scoring position for them here in game 2, Sarah Ratcliffe digs in.
We've seen a lot of those. The balls that are put in play rarely are taken the other direction with all these right-handers. Pull down the line. And a lot of players getting the barrel on the ball and just lifting it down the line. One of them went out.
First offer to Ratcliffe. High and outside, 1-0. Ratcliffe singled in her first plate appearance in this game. Back in the first inning. In fact, back-to-back singles for Ratcliffe. Her final at-bat of game 1 and her first at-bat of game 2. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good hard fastball low in the zone by Rarick. It's 1-1. Rarick 8-4 this season in the circle. A 2.66 ERA. This is her 8th game started. She has 4 complete games through the first 7. 1-1. Spiked off of home plate. Nice play by Nowakowski, the catcher, 2-1. This is the 6th time in April that Rarick is pitching for Megan Bryant's club. Heck, the team has only used 3 pitchers all season long. So Bodrig and Rarick shouldering most of the load on the pitching end. 2-1. Fouled into the netting behind home. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, if there's one thing that Rarick does particularly well, it's not allow extra base hits. Before today's game, 68 hits given up this season. Only 14 of them have gone for extra bases. Of course, that one, a well-struck double.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Deuce is wild. Here's the pitch. Clip foul again. Got a piece of Nowakowski after the foul ball. And the count stays at 2-2. Ratcliffe, the senior from Pelham, New Hampshire, holds Pelham High School's all-time record for home runs and hits. 4-time All-State selection in New Hampshire. Opportunity to give the Riverhawks the lead. The pitch. High and away, ball 3. Good AB by the third baseman. Hitting in the number 3 spot for Danielle Henderson.
Good AB by the 3B.
You just come up with that one?
I did, yeah.
You continue to shock me. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rizzi leading off of second. The pitch. Another foul ball. Nowakowski frustrated. Thought she might have been able to hold that 3rd strike snug. Instead, the 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming.
And keep a relationship alive by saving your surprises.
You continue to do that. Middle back, corners even with a bag. The third, 3-2, is lifted out to right center field and deep. Nuss feeling for the wall, leaps and makes the catch. Jonah Nuss, with her back nudged against the fence, makes the final out. Stony Brook into and out of trouble in the third. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left stranded. 2.5 gone by in game 2. No score, UMass Lowell and Stony Brook. We head back to the WUSB studios with Zach Wilson.
Thanks, Johnny. So, what a wild catch by Sean and us to try and keep things in perspective for the softball team. Meanwhile, you get a women's lacrosse game just starting off, Notre Dame and Duke. Kathleen Rowe starts things off by getting the first goal of the game. The Fighting Irish take an early 1-0 lead against Duke. On the men's lacrosse side, an overtime goal by Denver gives them the win over Villanova 11-10. And at 4 p.m. today, a big America East battle in men's lacrosse. The Vermont Catamounts hosting the UAlbany Great Danes, who without Teoka Nantico throughout the rest of this season, and his career has been ended. In the MLB, still got 2 games in action. Minnesota Twins cashing in another run. They now take an 8-1 lead over Cleveland in the top of the 5th. In the top of the 4th, you got Miami and Milwaukee in action. The Brewers cashing in a couple of runs to strike back and even the game at 2 apiece. Locals in action tonight. DeGrom taking the mound as the Mets host the Red Sox again at 6:40. At 7 o'clock, the Yankees playing at Baltimore once more. Both teams are 10-13. Got NBA action tonight. No locals in action. Actually, there is just one. New York Knicks hosting the Chicago Bulls at 7:30 after their 9-game winning streak was snapped by Phoenix on Monday. Back to University Fields.
Home half of the 3rd inning here on the campus of Stony Brook University. Top of the lineup for Megan Bryant's crew. And Jordan Herring looks at a fastball high off the right hand of Riley White, and the count 1-0. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. No score, bottom 3, game 2 of 2. Second offer, bunted, good one, third base side, charging, throwing, not in time. Sarah Radcliffe had to be quick and was, but Jordan Herring's faster. She's aboard with a bunt single. Her second of the day, did so in game 1 of the doubleheader as well. And that'll bring up Kira McFarland.
Jordan Herring leads the team in stolen bases, and, well, that's why. She's aggressive, and she's fast.
First pitch, another bunt, this one by McFarland, fielded by the pitcher. The throw to first in time, and in the nick of time. Much to the chagrin of Kira McFarland, who remained behind the first base bag for a moment, thinking she was safe. Certainly close. Either way, Herring moves to second. Stony Brook will take the sacrifice bunt. And now the go-ahead run in the form of Herring, with, you could argue, the Seawolves' best hitter at the dish, Melissa Rarick. First pitch to the righty. At the knees, called strike 1.
Melissa Rarick has a bit of a funky batting stance that we haven't really touched on. Stands in the back of the batter's box.
Second pitch, just missed off the outer edge, 1-1.
And her front toe is toward the back edge of the batter's box. Then, of course, squares back up when the pitch comes in. Tad unconventional.
Very open stance. 1-1, misses outside as well, 2-1. But it's worked for her over her career. Not many better, not only in Stony Brook history, but in the conference history. The AE Player of the Year in 2018 and 2019. 2-1. Outside again. 3 in a row that missed the zone on the outer half from White. It's a hitter's count on Rarick, 3 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. Fastball, this time does just clip the black. And the count is full, 3-2 on Stony Brook starting pitcher here in game 2. There's Jonah coined her the Shohei Ohtani of the Stony Brook Seawolves.
I coined her anything.
3-2, clipped foul. Back into the netting. We'll do it again in a second.
I mentioned it in passing. That's a descriptive
Well, one man's
phrase.
mentioning in passing is another man's coined.
Is that how the mint works?
Still 3-2. Herring off of second. The pitch slashed on the ground right side. Nice play by Packer to stay in front of it. Gets the out at first. Meanwhile, Herring advances to third. Now the go-ahead run, inching closer to home plate as the cleanup hitter Nicole McCarville steps in. McCarville doubled in the first, but Stony Brook failed to score despite putting 2 ducks on the pond. First pitch popped up in the infield behind the second base bag. Cashman makes the call and has the ball. So Stony Brook leaves one, and despite the leadoff single from Herring, they fail to score. We've played 3 at Stony Brook University. Still no score in Game 2 of the doubleheader on WUSB 90.1 FM. Back to Zach Wilson.
All right, thanks, Johnny. So we're back once again in the studios of WUSB. More NBA games going on tonight, besides the Knicks and the Bulls. At 7 p.m., the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Orlando Magic, and the Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Big battle in the Eastern Conference at Wells Fargo Center tonight. In the nation's capital, the Washington Wizards hosting the Los Angeles Lakers at 7:30, and the Boston Celtics at the TD Garden hosting the Charlotte Hornets. At 8 p.m., the Miami Heat taking on the San Antonio Spurs. At 9 p.m., the Memphis Grizzlies, 2 games over 500, taking on the Portland Trailblazers, who are 5 games over 500. At 9 p.m., you also got the Denver Nuggets hosting Zion and the Pelicans. And at 10 p.m., big battle in the Western Conference. The second-best conference record, and the Phoenix Suns host the third-best conference record, the Los Angeles Clippers, at 10 p.m. on ESPN. And also at 10 p.m. tonight, Rudy Gobert and Utah Jazz taking on Sacramento Kings, who are 25-36 overall at 10 p.m. tonight. And also, we got more action to see here. Let's see what we got. Just one top 25 college baseball game in action right now. 11th ranked Texas Tech with a 9-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th over New Mexico. Back to University Field.
Thank you so much, Zach. We enter the top half of the 4th inning here on the North Shore of Long Island. Picture perfect day for softball or baseball, or choose your sport. If it's outdoors, it's your day for it. He's Jonah Karp.
Curling.
Not outdoors. He's Jonah Karp. Very difficult Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. Sarah Seitman digs in. First pitch from Rarick is low and in for ball 1. Still no score here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Barely had a score in Game 1. Stony Brook takes it by a final of 2-1. And all 3 runs were scored in the first 3 innings. 1-0 pitch. Nicked foul into the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike on UML's designated player here in the second game, Sarah Seitman. Struck out swinging in the first. Struck out all 3 plate appearances in Game 1. So it's a game plus worth of a golden sombrero so far for Seitman. Rarick delivers. 1-1, blooped softly down the left field line. This is a foul ball. And again, Jonah, you noted in the last half inning that a lot of the balls that have been put in play down that left field line in that sort of soft triangle area. Doesn't necessarily make it an easy play to make. Sansone met Craig and the shortstop McCarville. All for none, just the second strike, now a 1-2 count. Righty. Rarick whips home. Low, ball 2. UML, 3rd best batting average in the conference. Stony Brook, the best ERA in the conference. The 2-2 home. Chopped on the ground. This will be a foul ball. Got a piece of Seitman before ricocheting to Rarick in play. Still 2-2. The entire field in sunshine. We've had some shaded slivers throughout the afternoon. Rarick ready to go again, 2-2. On the ground, right back to Rarick. Speared it to her left and completes the play. And the pitcher makes it look easy. 1-3 if you're scoring at home, and 1 down in the 4th.
What's cool about Rarick, because she's also an infielder, she doesn't lollipop a throw over to first. She knows how to field her position, so she tosses a strong throw into the first baseman to complete the putout.
Maria Macchio steps in, first baseman. Looks at a first pitch off speed and high for ball 1. Yeah, you might think instinct is get the ball and go underhand again to first.
Right.
After doing it, nearly 100 times in a game. But Rarick was smooth. 1 out in the 4th, nobody on, in a scoreless contest. 1-0 pitch. On the ground, left side, in play for Craig. On a friendly hop, she's got it. And across the way, 2 down. Not sure if it's just me, but seems like it's been an absolutely busy afternoon for the third baseman, Riley Craig. And she has been up to the task each and every time.
And that play wasn't that easy for Craig. She made it look easy, but it took a weird hop before she scooped it up. That could have very easily gone through the 5-hole and been an error. Or depending on how quickly it got through the 5-hole, possibly a single. Doesn't matter, that's moot.
In steps the second baseman and number 6 hitter, Abby Packard. Another right-hander. Breaking ball, just missed low. Ball 1. I think the Stony Brook dugout thought they had the strike. By the way, that's the third time in game 2 that Riley Craig has been forced to make a put out at third. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Fastball high, 2 balls and no strikes now on Packard. Jonah, you noted this. Not sure if that was game 1 or earlier in game 2. It's been a long afternoon. And entering game 1 of the doubleheader, Stony Brook had more wins than UML had games played. 2-0 on the ground right side. This finds space for a base hit. In fact, so hardly hit that Shauna Nuss, the right fielder, came up and threw to first. All too late, though. It's a single for Abby Packard. And that is UMass Lowell's first base runner today from a batter hitting between the 4 and 9 spots.
Dawn Bodrick had her way with the lower 2/3 of the batting order when she was in the pitcher circle.
Kayla Tully digs in. Fastball right down Main Street, 0-1.
And Melissa Rarick picked up where Bodrick left off. It's been a struggle today for an otherwise very solid lineup that the UMass Lowell River Hawks have.
Oh, 1 pitch. Swung through by Tully. Fastball low and in. Not sure that would have been a called strike either way. Now a 0-2 count on the left fielder. Who will break through first in game 2? No score, top 4. Here's the pitch. Lifted right center field. This will touch turf for a base hit as well. It's cut off by Nuss in the gap. That will keep Tully to a single, but not before Packard goes from first to third. Back-to-back 2-out base knocks by the Riverhawks. And in steps Tori Mueller with a chance to break the scoreless tie.
Tully going with that pitch, a pitch over the outer corner that she just poked into the gap in right center field. Well struck, but not a hard hit ball. Just a good piece of hitting by Tully to get 2 base runners on.
Well, this would be a good time for Tori Mueller's first hit of the afternoon. 0 for 3 in game 1, 0 for 1 in game 2. First pitch low and away, ball 1. Runners on the corners, second base is open. And the number 9 hitter, Olivia LeBay, on deck. Just 1 loss in the conference season for Stony Brook came last week in 3-2 fashion against Maine. 1-0 pitch. Bunt is shown, pulled back, it's a strike. Runner from first will take off for second, and there's no throw. Tully thieves second. No more force on the base paths. 2 ducks on the pond for Mueller.
Good decision by Nowakowski with Packard baiting her at third base. He let the runner go.
1-1 pitch home from Rarick. In there for called strike 2. Mueller, the left-handed hitter, had already taken steps out of the box by the time that ball was caught by Nowakowski. And again, an opportunity for Stony Brook to work into and out of trouble. 2 runners in scoring position. The one nipped foul right back into the netting, protecting us just on the third base side of home plate. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's like a force field in front of us.
So you've done a significantly better job this time around at not flinching. Not sure if you've become more brave or you just have more trust in this set of netting.
What do they say?
At University Fields.
Reps.
1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll do it again. Low and away, 2-2. Packard off of third, she singled. Tully on second. She singled. Both did with 2 outs. Rarick trying to put an end to the inning. The 2-2. Fastball off the outer edge. Nowakowski attempted to frame, and the count is 3-2. Riley Craig with a quick jog over to her pitcher. A couple words of encouragement and back to the hot corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top 4, no score. The payoff pitch. On the ground, left side and past the dive of McCarville into left. This brings home the first run, and the River Hawks for the second straight game have taken a 1-0 lead.
Not even a full swing for Mueller gets the job done. Sort of a half swing, but poked into the right spot in between Craig and McCarville on the left side of the infield. And a slow roller gets the run across.
Three consecutive 2-out base knocks by the River Hawks, and it comes from the bottom of their lineup after, let's count it, 10 innings today with nothing from the 4 through 9 hitters. Packard a single, Tully a single, and Mueller a single. And that allows Olivia LeBay, the number 9 hitter, to see the plate here in the 4th. Runners on the corners, still 2 down. First pitch to the righty, low. Mueller faked that she was stealing second, retreated to the bag. Still caused the Stony Brook bench to yell, going, going, going. Rarick's 1-0 pitch, low and in, 2-0. We noted the Riverhawks scored the first run of game 1. It was their only run, and they couldn't have done it any faster. First batter of the game, solo blast by Courtney Cashman. Cashman waits on deck. She'd love to see the plate here in the 4th inning. 1-0 Riverhawks. Pitch home, misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Obviously a hitter Rarick wants to and maybe has to go after, with Courtney Cashman on deck. Second base is open. 3-0 pitch. Called strike 1. Rarick tries again. 3-1 missed. Olivia LeBay able to draw a 5-pitch walk. Bridges the gap to the top of the lineup. And now Courtney Cashman ready to step in with all bases occupied by Riverhawks.
And we mentioned in that first game that this is a very shallow pitching staff that Stony Brook has. We saw Bodrig in that first game. Here's Rarick now in the second game. The only other pitcher that's stepped into the circle this season is Shelby Denman, who, depending on how the rest of this inning goes, might see time today.
Mound meeting comes to an end. It will be Rarick, the right-handed slinger, against Courtney Cashman, the right-handed swinger. Cashman reached base in all 3 plate appearances in game 1. Solo shot, walk, and walk. In game 2, it's been a ground out and a fly out. With the bases loaded, the first offer misses low and in. Cashman already twice this season named the America East Player of the Week. Has hits in 14 of her first 17 games of the season. Rarick another try. In there for called strike 1. Riverhawks have been patient, waiting for a pitch to drive. The rally rolls on, all with 2 outs. After Seitman and Macchio grounded out to start the inning, 4 consecutive Riverhawks have reached the 1-1. On the ground, left side, McCarville boots it, and it rolls into the outfield. 1 run scores, and that's all that'll touch home. Everybody moves up a bag, and the River Hawks take a 2-0 lead.
That should have ended the inning, Johnny. That was a picture-perfect, textbook-made opportunity to scoop up a ground ball and force at any bag. McCarville perhaps picked her head up a little bit too soon to see where she wanted to throw it, and instead just booted it.
Tully scores on the play. Muller to third, LeBay to second, and now Cashman on first. Here's Rizzi, who's been a tough out today. Looks at a fastball above the letters, 1-0. Well, Jonah, we mentioned it earlier today. When Stony Brook does not commit an error, they are 15-1. 1-0 pitch home. Rizzi flares one out to right field. Nuss toward the track, makes the catch. On the move, nice grab by the right fielder. But the damage done in the top half of the fourth inning. The Riverhawks get 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they leave the bases loaded. And it all happens with 2 outs. Halfway through game 2 at Stony Brook University, Riverhawks 2, Seawolves nothing. Right here on WUSB 90.1 FM.
And back at the studios of WSB, thank you, Johnny. We'll now get you going with more scores and updates from around the pros. We still got some MLB games going on, just 2 so far. At the top of the 5th inning, it's still 8-1 Minnesota over Cleveland. At the top of the 4th, they're still all tied up at 2 with the man out first, nobody out. We got NHL games tonight at 5:30. The Ottawa Senators hosting the Vancouver Canucks. At 7 p.m. on NBCSN, the Minnesota Wild, after clinching a playoff berth, will host the St. Louis Blues. And at 8 p.m., the Montreal Canadiens hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. At 9 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will be hosting the Edmonton Oilers. And at 9:30, the Vegas Golden Knights hosting the Colorado Avalanche. A big battle to watch on the other side of the nation. At 10 p.m., the LA Kings hosting the Anaheim Ducks. And at 10:30 tonight, the San Jose Sharks taking on the Arizona Coyotes. On the men's lacrosse side, just two games today. The first one ended a little while ago. Denver in overtime defeats Villanova 11-10 in a Big East battle. And at 4 p.m. today, we got a Big America East battle as the Vermont Catamounts will be hosting UAlbany Great Danes. Let's get back to University Field.
Much appreciated, Zach Wilson. Back at University Field on the campus of Stony Brook University. We venture for the bottom half of the 4th inning. First pitch to Lauren Osmer. High and away for ball 1. It is now a 2-0 contest. UMass Lowell leads Stony Brook. Seawolves took game 1 of this twin bill by a final of 2-1, guaranteeing that no matter what happens in game 2, the Seawolves will still maintain first place in the conference. Count 2-0 now on Osmer. She'll be followed by 6 and 7, Jordan Nowakowski and Riley Craig. Glad you're with us for this midday doubleheader. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. Riley White, the right-handed pitcher, deals home the 3rd offer. In there for a called strike, now 2-1 on Osmer.
We're mid-game or the midweek? Midday doubleheader.
Mid-swing, you said that. Foul ball to count 2-2. Osmer grounded out right back to the pitcher White in the 1st inning. Stony Brook with 4 hits, but nothing to show for it. Another foul ball back to the screen. And Osmer will see another 2-2 pitch. Rather, Osmer. The junior from Martinez, California, who has been clutch this season for SBU. Walk-off single earlier in the month against Hofstra. 2-2. Another foul ball. That one did make it over the netting. Still 2-2. She'll see a 4th 2-2 pitch in a moment. Osmer, though, just 1 for 9 in the 3 games against Maine. And 1 for 15 since. 2-2. Pop foul again. And another 2-2 forthcoming to the 5'8 junior from California. White's 2-2. High ball 3. Osmer not making it easy for Riley White. Making her 10th appearance of the season. Her 8th start. 5 times she's thrown a complete game. Both pitchers able to go the distance in game one. Here comes the 3-2. Breaking ball lifted in the air right side. Second baseman onto the outfield grass, and Packard makes the play. One down here in the fourth inning. Stony Brook catcher Jordan Nowitkowski steps in. Strikeout victim back into second. In fact, only 2 strikeouts so far for Riley White, but has been able to limit the damage. It's the 4 Stony Brook hits, and the defense behind her has been clean. Righty. First pitch, another foul ball behind home plate, 0-1. Should note this is a River Hawks team under the guidance of Danielle Henderson, who's in her 7th season, and has already twice been named the America East Coach of the Year in her first 6. Second pitch, just clips the corner. 0-2, good spot if you're White. Opportunity to set down the first 2 batters, and she does. Swing and a miss by Nowitkowski. Third strikeout for Riley White. And now a battle of the Rileys, as White will deal to the left-handed swinging Craig.
Craig got the better of White in that first at-bat, but was left on base, and that's been the story of this game too.
First pitch, swung on, drilled, left center field, on the move, a dive from the center fielder. Oh, and it's caught by LeBay. Olivia LeBay lays out in left center and eliminates an extra base hit from Riley Craig. It gives the River Hawks their first 1-2-3 inning of game 2. We've played 4 at University Field, and still 2-0 River Hawks over the Seawolves on WUSB 90.1 FM.
All right, let's go back to the studios of WSB. Let's see what other scores and updates we got going on. We got some women's lacrosse games that happened earlier today, including your Stony Brook women's lacrosse team laying claim to their 8th straight America East regular season title with their smothering 22-4 win against the New Hampshire Wildcats. Stony Brook will once again host the America East women's lacrosse tournament at Canopy Laval Stadium starting May 6. The ACC quarterfinals game 1 wrapped up today. North Carolina over Louisville 19-6. Ends the Cardinal season, while the Tar Heels are flying high, looking like the top overall seed to be named in the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, you got the Florida Gators taking their win against the Liberty Flames 17-2, a non-conference battle, as Liberty is the Atlantic Sun, Florida is the American Athletic Conference in women's lacrosse. On the Northeastern Conference side, the Wagner Seahawks winning at St. Francis 16-13. You got Duke and Notre Dame right now. The Fighting Irish with a 7-3 lead over Duke with 17-15 left to go in the first half. Bryant and LIU in an NEC battle. The Sharks have an early 3-2 lead over the Bulldogs. And the first half, Robert Morris with a 3-1 lead over Detroit Mercy. Fairfield leads Monmouth 2-1. Let's go back to University Field.
The River Hawks able to preserve their 2-0 lead, courtesy of a diving catch by their center fielder, Olivia LeBay. We head for the top half of the 5th inning. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Jonny Wincott. Glad you could join us for a midweek doubleheader between UMass Lowell and Stony Brook. Seawolves took game 1 by a 2-1 final. Another tight one here in the second game of the Twin Bill. First pitch, righty to Sarah Ratcliffe, low for ball 1. Off the arm of Melissa Rarick, making her 8th start of the season, already has 4 complete games. But she has worked into and out of trouble in 3 out of the first 4 innings. 1-0 pitch, caught the corner, 1-1. Second inning was the only smooth sailing so far for Rarick in the 1-2-3 frame. UML got both of their runs in the top half of the 4th inning, utilizing a 2-out rally. 1-1 pitch from Rarick. On the ground to third. Backhanded by Craig at the bag and across the diamond. She does it again. 4th putout of game 2 for Riley Craig over at the hot corner. 1 down.
Looking like a wizard over at third. Like Brooks Robinson.
I was going to say Mike Schmidt.
Robinson has more gold gloves.
Just trying to give her some credit. She swung a good bat today as well.
Oh, sure.
Here's Sarah Seitman, designated player here in game 2. Still in search of her first base hit today. First pitch right down the middle. She takes a look, 0-1. First 4 at-bats were all strikeouts. Then grounded back to Rarick in the 4th inning. Noted both of those runs in the 4th came with 2 outs. 5 straight River Hawks reached with 2 down. Second pitch drilled into center field. Herring to her left will make the play in the gap, 2 down. Six pitches, 2 outs. Here's Maria Macchio. Rarick could certainly use an efficient inning in terms of pitches thrown after facing 8 of the 9 Riverhawks in the 4th inning alone. Macchio also hitless in 5 plate appearances today. Righty batter. A lot of bend in the knees. And she looks at a first pitch strike from Rarick, 0-1. Seemingly has been the key today for pitchers working ahead in the count. Not falling behind and feeling like you have to hit the zone. 0-1 offer. On the ground again to Craig. This time has it to her left and a good hard throw across the diamond. 1-2-3 frame for Melissa Rarick. No runs, no hits. Nobody left in the top half of the 5th. We'll go to the home half of the 5th inning after the break. In a 2-0 game, Riverhawks over Seawolves. We'll send it back to Zach Wilson in the 90.1 FM WSB studios.
Thanks, Johnny. So, let's see what more scores we can get into. We're only 2 games today with men's lacrosse as Denver won at overtime against Villanova and Vermont takes on New Albany at 4 o'clock in the American East battle. Let's see what other updates we got going on later today. We got American and Lehigh Patriot League at 4 o'clock. We also got at 5 o'clock, 2-seed Syracuse taking on 7-seed Virginia Tech in the ACC quarterfinals, which is Game 3. Marist and Siena taking on each other at 7 o'clock, and at 7:30, the last game of the ACC quarterfinals, Boston College taking on Virginia. Presbyterian and Delaware State, originally scheduled for today, was postponed. Let's see what action we got on Saturday, since that's usually the biggest one to watch out for. Stony Brook, of course, your women's lacrosse team, once again the American East regular season champions, will be hosting the UMBC Retrievers at noon on Senior Day. Game will be live on YouTube on the WSB Sports channel. We will also be live tomorrow night beginning at 7:45 when we will show our live reactions of the 2021 NFL Draft in Round 1. More American East women's lacrosse games later on Saturday. New Albany and Binghamton, along with UMass Lowell, Vermont, and New Hampshire versus Hartford. Back to University Field.
Thank you so much, Zach. Well, we start the home half of the 5th inning in dramatic fashion. Juliana Sansone takes the first pitch she sees and drives it down the left field line for a leadoff double. He's Jonah Karp. I'm Johnny Wincott. We thank you for sticking around during a doubleheader today at University Field. A 2-1 finish in Game 1 in favor of the Stony Brook Seawolves. They trail now 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. But now the game's tying run comes to the plate in the form of Shauna Nuss. The double by Sansone, the second extra base hit today for Stony Brook in Game 2. First pitch is high. She showed bunt and pulled back. You can hear the momentum starting to shift from the third base dugout to the first base dugout. Nuss, the number 9 hitter from the left side, lays down a bunt third base side. Throw to first is in time. Sansone advances to third. Sacrifice successful. If you're scoring at home, it goes down 1-3.
That's why Megan Bryant is as successful as she is as a coach. Knows the situation. There are 3 more innings to get 2 across. You already have a runner in scoring position. You move them over 90 feet.
Now the top of the lineup in Jordan Herring. First pitch is a low called strike, 0-1. Herring has a single in each of the games today, Game 1 and Game 2, both via the bunt. This one driven out to left field and deep, and it gets over Tully's head and rolls to the wall. The left fielder misjudged it, and it's a 2-1 game. Herring drives home Sansone. Just 5 pitches into the 5th inning. Stony Brook has halved the deficit.
Well, that's not going to go in the books as an error, but Kayla Tully badly misjudged that ball. Granted, it was hard hit, and I'm not sure she would have been able to catch it regardless. That being said, Juliana Sansone was getting ready to tag up, ended up only having to walk home on that crack of the bat. So now Stony Brook back in business with a tying run on base.
Pinch hitter Brooke Dye steps in for Kira McFarland. And a first pitch fastball in there for a strike from Riley White. We saw Dye briefly in game 1. Her services needed now in game 2. Second pitch. Hit on the ground, foul of third. Nice backhanded play made by Ratcliffe either way. And just like that, the count 0-2. This is the 4th batter of the bottom of the 5th. Riley White has only thrown 7 pitches. Here's her 8th. Swing and a miss. Dye down on strikes, 2 down. And now an opportunity for Melissa Rarick to help her own cause. Starting pitcher here in game 2 has allowed 2 runs, towing the rubber. Both came in the 4th. First pitch. Fastball called strike 1 again.
Well, after that, Rarick really settled down nicely, pitching a 1-2-3. That second run that came across was unearned. Came across because of an error that should have been out.
0-1. Misses high at the eyes, 1-1.
That said, Rarick's still on the hook for the loss. So if she could help out her own cause here, pull an Otani, rather a DeGrom, I think that's a little more of what this game is like.
It is DeGrom day today. This inning started with a Sansone double. She was bunted over to third by Nuss, and then Herring brought her in. 1-1 pitch just barely missed low in the zone, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Herring on second base. The game's tying run. Rarick the go-ahead run. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Playable for the River Hawks, left side of the infield, and Ratcliffe makes the catch to end the threat. But not before the Seawolves get on the board in game number 2. They score 1 run on 2 hits, but they leave 1, and we head for the 6th inning in a 2-1 game, UML over SBU on USB 90.1 FM.
WUSB, Stony Brook. Thanks, Johnny. We now return to the studios for more of your scores and updates. In top 25 in college baseball, 11th ranked Texas Tech continues its lead over New Mexico as the Red Raiders have a 10-2 lead. Meanwhile, the bottom of the 1st right now between 9th ranked Oregon and San Jose State, all scoreless. 5 p.m., another Pac-12 team in the top 25, 18th ranked Stanford will play at Pacific. On to the softball side. Game 2 between Hartford and UMBC is underway in the top of the 1st, scoreless. Meanwhile, Game 1 between Binghamton and Fordham went final. The Rams with the shutout win against the Bearcats 4-0. Game 2 for them will be in a little while. We also have one top 25 game in college softball today, as the 20th ranked Virginia Tech Hokies will take on the Liberty Flames. 7th ranked Oklahoma State and Tulsa canceled due to impending weather, along with 25th ranked Notre Dame and DePaul. Let's see what more scores we got here. We talked about college baseball. Let's go back to pro baseball. In the top of the 7th, more runs for the Twins. They are stamping down on Cleveland big time. The Twins have a 10-2 lead over the Indians. At the bottom of the 5th, Miami got 4 runs. The Marlins take a 6-2 lead over Milwaukee. Back to University Field.
Thanks, Zach. Top of the 6th inning, Melissa Rarick back in the pitcher circle. After Stony Brook got one back in the last half inning, they trail 2-1. Jonah Karp and Johnny Wincott on hand. Abby Packard, Kayla Tully, Tori Mueller with 3 due up. First pitch on the way. to Packard. Cracked out to deep left field, chasing Sanzone back and makes the catch right on the edge of the warning track for the first out. Packard first pitch swinging and ends up getting retired by Juliana Sanzone in left field. Nobody on base with one down in the top of the 6th inning. Kayla Tully, the new batter, 1 for 2 today. Singled in her last at-bat back in the 4th and came around to score. First pitch to her, waved at and missed at a low pitch. Count 0-1. Second game of a doubleheader between Stony Brook and UMass Lowell. Top 2 teams in the America East standings. Stony Brook improved to 8-1 in conference play after winning game 1 of the doubleheader. The 0-1. Lined and played on a hop by the shortstop McCarville. Makes the strong throw to first to retire Kayla Tully, 2 down. The left side of this Stony Brook infield has been very, very good between McCarville and Riley Craig. Minus the error in the 4th inning that McCarville booted. Ended up bringing home a run.
And they've had to be good. They've been busy. You look at the box score from both game 1 and now nearly a completed game 2. A lot of 5-3s, a lot of 6-3s.
First pitch to Mueller. Taken for a strike at the knees, 0-1. Mueller 1 for 2 today. Well, in game 2. Singled in her last at-bat. That was in the 4th. And the 0-1. Misses low and away, 1-1. That was an RBI single for Tori Mueller, the right fielder, after going 0 for 3 in game 1. All 4 infielders shaded in. The corners expecting a bunt opportunity. Nobody on base with 2 down, and Mueller squares to bunt, goes around, 1-2 the count.
And it's strange, if you remove the 4th inning of game 2, this is a River Hawks team that still doesn't have any base runners past their number 4 hitter in the lineup. But that big 4th inning could prove to be the difference maker in game 2.
1-2 the count to Mueller. Nobody on base with 2 down. The pitch slapped right to McCarville, who picks it out of the air for out number 3. A quick top of the 6th. A 1-2-3 top of the 6th for Melissa Rarick. No runs, no hits, and nobody left aboard. We're through 5.5. Stony Brook comes to bat, trailing by 1. When we return on 90.1 WUSB Stony Brook, let's send it back to Zach.
All right, thanks, Jonah. So we're back here once again in the studios of WUSB. Let's see what more we can add on. Talked about Minnesota, Cleveland, and Miami, and Milwaukee. We got more games today. The LA Dodgers and the Cincinnati Reds at 4 o'clock. Clayton Kershaw taking the mound for LA, while Sonny Gray taking the mound for Cincinnati. At 6:40, you got the New York Mets in action. As you heard Jonny say before, it is Jacob DeGrande. He'll face off against Nick Pivetta. Meanwhile, at 7:05, you got the New York Yankees at Camden Yards again taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Domingo Germán will take the mound for the Yankees. Dean Kremer taking the mound for the Orioles tonight. And at 7:10, you got the Oakland A's taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. A little late addition, Tyler Glasnow, 2-1 this season with a 2.05 ERA, taking on Cole Irvin, who has a 3.86 ERA. At 7:07 tonight, you got Steven Matz, who's going to be the starting today for the Toronto Blue Jays, who just got George Springer playing his first game as a Blue Jay this season, taking on Eric Fede and the Washington Nationals. Let's head back to University Fields.
All right, thanks, Zach. Nicole McCarville is the first player up in the bottom of the 6th inning, with Stony Brook trailing by 1. 2-1 the score. It's already a 0-1 count to McCarville, and she cracks this one out to left field. Drifting over to her left is Tully, and she calls off the center fielder LeBay to make the catch. First out.
We've had a lot of chatter today about music and walk-up songs. My number 1 goes to Nicole McCarville, who steps into Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
That is a good one.
And this is a day where we are letting the sun beat down upon our faces.
Getting the lead out in game 2 of this doubleheader. Nobody on base with 1 down. And first pitch pumped in for a strike to Lindsay Osmer. 0 for 2 in game 2 with a ground out and a pop out. Went 0 for 2 in game 1. Stony Brook trails 2-1. The pitch flared along the first base line. Ranging over is Packard. Can't make the catch out of the air. She made a dive behind first base. Maria Macchio had a tough time reading that. It was just a little flare that looked like it was going foul initially. Stayed fair. Packard made a super woman dive. Lisa Osmer being safe at first. Cracked out down the line in left field. Played on a hop by the left fielder Kayla Tully. Making a wide turn at first base is Osmer. She stays put. Table set with a tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first. One down in the bottom of the sixth for Riley Craig. Riley Craig. As Jordan Nowakowski cracks that single.
You did Nowakowski hopped on the first pitch. Didn't even get a chance to kind of double back on that Osmer play. Unbelievable effort by Packard. Almost out of a movie. There was so much dirt. You couldn't tell if she had made the catch or not until that dirt kind of had settled and gone into foul ground. By the way, the first pitch was fouled into the netting. Jonah will look to get his bearings back as it was headed right for his face. He flinched. Good.
Jonah has the sniffles. I know you guys don't want to hear that on the air.
Nothing to do with the foul ball that was just headed for his face.
Nothing in one. Pitch is popped up, a little flare, staying in the infield, picked out of the air by Macchio, and everyone holds. So a quick second out for Riley White, and Juliana Sanzone will dig in. Stony Brook has left a number of batters stranded here in the second game of this doubleheader.
In fact, they've stranded at least one runner in every inning except for the fourth, when they went down 1-2-3.
First pitch to Sanzone, taken at the knee, strike one. Sanzone 1 for 2 in game 2, doubled in the in the fifth, after homering in the first game. Runners on first and second, 2 outs in the sixth. The pitch, breaking ball, misses the outside corner, 1-1. Nowakowski at first, Osmer at second, 2 down in the bottom of the sixth inning. The pitch, lifted in the air, not very deep, behind the second base bag. The second baseman Packard picks it out of the air for the third out of the bottom of the sixth. Stony Brook leaves 2 stranded, no runs on 2 hits, 2 left aboard. We're through 6. UMass Lowell 2, Stony Brook 1. We head to the 7th and final inning. On the other side of this break, don't go anywhere. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB Stony Brook. Back to Zach Wilson in the studio.
Thanks, Jonah. So, back here in the studios of WSB, a little quick reminder that today would have been the Campus Connect program would feature an interview with Atiba Rajas. However, due to our programming of Stony Brook softball, the game their show originally scheduled for today at noon will be coming up later in May, probably as early as next week. So, we got you going with some scores. Let's go into NFL news. You got Draft Day 1 coming up tomorrow for round 1. We'll be live reacting to it on YouTube on WSB Sports. Link will be available on social media. We got some big news to share as well. In the NFL, Teddy Bridgewater, who was the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers this past season, has just been traded over to the Denver Broncos. Sam Darnold's going to probably most likely take the starting quarterback job for Carolina, while Teddy Bridgewater could be the backup to Drew Lock if it goes that way. Got some more NFL draft news to take a look into. We know how it's going to play out if my name twin Zach Wilson may be drafted number 2 overall by the New York Jets. We'll see what happens with that. Meanwhile, Antonio Brown re-signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after he signed a year deal with them being under Tom Brady's thrall along with Bruce Arians. Let's head back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Top of the 7th inning, UMass Lowell leads Stony Brook 2-1. Olivia LeBay leads things off. Courtney Cashman in the on-deck circle, and then Christina Rizzi. 9-1-2 in the River Hawks batting order. Looking to tack on some insurance to this 2-1 lead. Melissa Rarick delivers. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled off. A grounder down the third base line, 0-1. Olivia LeBay 0 for 1 in game 2 of this doubleheader. Reached base on a walk and was left stranded in the 4th inning.
We've got a brief delay now because LeBay's stirrups became undone. the strap that goes underneath the heel came out from the heel. So now she's going one stirrup in, one stirrup out. And that's why we have the delay.
Count still 0-1. The pitch. Squares to bunt, lays one right in front of home plate. That's a fair ball. The throw is errant, and it rolls into foul ground along the right field line. Taking a wide turn at second is LeBay. Goes all the way to third on that bad throw by Jordan Nowakowski, and then struggling to pick it up in foul ground, Shauna Nuss, before throwing it back into the infield. So another run close to home plate at third base with nobody out for the UMass Lowell River Hawks.
And that's never an easy play for a catcher to make. You got to pick up the ball, select your angle, either inside the bag or outside the bag. She came inside the line, but the throw was outside the bag.
Back to the top of the order, ripped right down to short, picked up by McCarville, who looked over at third to keep LeBay at third base. And that's a tough first out for Nicole McCarville. Gets the job done to retire Courtney Cashman, one down.
If Stony Brook gets out of this inning without allowing a run, you're going to remember that play at shortstop by McCarville. And we've been lauding the defense all afternoon long on the left side. Craig and McCarville, no play more important than that one.
Helps out Melissa Rarick, trying to get out of this inning. Next up, Christina Reese pops it up. Shallow center field. Coming in is Herring, called off by the shortstop McCarville. 2 outs by McCarville, who throws it back into third to keep LeBay at third base. Those are 2 massive outs, courtesy of Nicole McCarville, and now Sarah Radcliffe will dig in. And
not just massive outs, you look at who the outs were made against, right? Cashman and Rizzi, the number 1 and 2 hitters, who seemingly were the only 2 for a while today that were a thorn in Stony Brook's side. Now they get them out when they need to.
First pitch to Radcliffe. She doesn't go first pitch swinging, instead takes a strike over the outer half, 0-1. Cashman and Rizzi both swung at the first pitch they saw. Runner at third, now with 2 down, top of the 7th inning. And the pitch from Rarick. Grounded, left side of the infield, scooped up by McCarville, goes to first, close play, she got her! Nicole McCarville doing it all herself. An outstanding inning to keep this just a 1-run margin. Fantastic plays by Nicole McCarville, the star at shortstop. And it's still 2-1 UMass Lowell. No runs, no hits, 1 left aboard. We're through 6.5. Stony Brook will try to tie it or win it when we return on 90.1 WUSB Stony Brook. Back to Zach.
Thanks, Jonah. So let's also go into the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament, which does feature your America East champion, the Stony Brook Seawolves, as they will take on Ohio State tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN3. The winner of that game will take on the 11th seed Santa Clara. In that region, Memphis and Utah Valley will face off in 20 minutes. Winner of that game takes on 6th seed Arkansas. Also in that side of the bracket, Iowa takes down Campbell 1-0. Will play 3 seed UCLA on Friday at 3 p.m. Rutgers takes down Southeastern Louisiana 1-0. They'll take on 14th seed Clemson on Friday at 7 p.m. On the other side, Eli and Milwaukee currently engaged in a battle, scoreless through the first 10 minutes of the game. Winner takes on top seed Florida State at Saturday at noon. At 7 p.m. later tonight, Penn State taking on Alabama State. Winner takes on 16th seed Vanderbilt. Arizona State smothers Siena 4-0. Will take on 9th seed Duke Saturday at noon. Also, Ole Miss and Bowling Green. The Rebels win in a PK. Will take on 8th seed USC at 6 o'clock on Friday. Back to University Field.
Thank you, Zach. Bottom of the 7th inning, game 2 of this doubleheader. First pitch to Nuss, tapped on the ground. It was a bunt, scooped up by the catcher, Rizzi, not in time. Shauna Nuss beats out an infield single, a bunt single, and the tying run at first base.
It really is unbelievable how this game has changed in a matter of minutes. About 5 minutes ago, this was a UML team that had runners on, nobody out. You thought they were going to get at least 1 insurance run. And now it's Stony Brook with the tying run aboard.
Herring bunts it, this time picked up by the third baseman Radcliffe. She goes to first and the throw is in time to retire Herring, but Nuss moves from first to second. And now the tying run in scoring position. Well, we've seen this from the Seawolves in this game. They play small ball to advance the runner. Nuss at second base. Riley White trying to close things out. Slapped on the ground, left side of the infield, that's through for a base hit. Rounding third, coming home, Jonah Nuss. The throw to the plate is not in time. Jonah Nuss ties the game at 2. Kira McFarland comes through with an RBI single.
Number 13.
Kira McFarland coming in clutch. After Jordan Herring moved the runner over with a sacrifice bunt, Jonah Nuss came over from second. Great base running, came home to score. Melissa Rarick now digs in. Winning run at first, the pitch. Upstairs with the fastball, 1 ball and no strikes.
We talk about being able to help your own cause. Rarick, depending on what happens here, could win her own cause.
The 1-0. At the knees, pumped in for a strike. 1-1.
Should note McFarland with the big hit there. She was pinch hit for in the 5th inning by Brooke Dye.
Now represents the winning run at first. Pitch is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Melissa Rarick came into game 1 of this series with a .386 batting average to lead the squad. The pitch to her. Ripped through the hole in the middle of the infield for a base hit. Picked up by LeBay, the center fielder, tosses it back into short. And another single off of Riley White gets the table set for Nicole McCarville. The winning run now in scoring position.
And this, if the softball gods really could not have put it any other way, McCarville is the reason that this is a 2-1 game. UML had a runner on third, nobody out in the top half of the 7th inning. McCarville makes 3 plays, 2 in spectacular fashion to keep it at a 1-run game. And now she's got an opportunity in the next half inning to win the game for Stony Brook.
Meeting of the minds on the mound for Danielle Henderson. We're going to get a substitution on the base paths. Coming in to run for Melissa Rarick, which, you know, in this case, that runner on first doesn't really mean much. The winning run is standing on second base. Alicia Orozco is the pinch runner.
It's almost collateral of sorts. If the lead runner is chopped down, you still want the next one to be pretty quick.
First pitch to McCarville is tapped foul back into the screen. Count 0-1. 3 hits given up in this inning by Riley White. One of those hits, an RBI single off the bat of Kira McFarland, who now stands on second, representing the winning run. The pitch. Cracked out to deep left field, chasing Tully back. At the warning track in left field, makes the catch with her back turned toward the wall. Everybody stays put. Runners hold on first and second, and there's 2 down.
All right, now that made it over the wall. That is a storybook ending for the 7th inning. It doesn't, of course. But again, Stony Brook not in this scenario to win the game, which is now tied in the bottom of the 7th, without the glove of Nicole McCarville in the top half of the 7th.
Lindsay Osmer, the new batter. First pitch to her. Pumped in for a strike. Riley White still throwing heat here in the 7th inning. 0-1 the count to Osmer. 1 for 3 in this game. The pitch. Taken for a strike on the outer half. 0-2. Runners on first and second. 2 down, bottom of the 7th. Winning run at second base. 2-2 the score. The pitch from White. Misses outside. 1-2. Two down in the bottom of the 7th inning. White has given up a run in the 7th. The pitch cracked out to left field, down the line, over the head of Tully, and it rolls into the corner. The winning run comes home. Stony Brook wins 3-2. Lindsay Osmer comes through with an RBI single in the bottom of the 7th. A walk-off victory for the Seawolves brings home McFarland. The Stony Brook Seawolves sweep the Wednesday doubleheader against the UMass Lowell River Hawks and stay put atop the America East standings. 9-1 in conference play. In a game where the Seawolves offense was stifled throughout. Opportunities to bring runners home, opportunities lost throughout the game. They come through toward the end when it matters. 3-2 the final score from University Field. An exciting game, Johnny.
And, you know, I hate to keep harping back to that top of the seventh, which I keep doing. But we had said after McCarville had made the play to get one out, if you remember this, with the runner on third, we said, all right, if no runs come across in this inning and it stays at a 2-1 game, remember that one play that McCarville makes up the middle. The second out is a pop out at second base, caught by McCarville. And the third out, another spectacular diving stop by McCarville. Kept it at a 2-1 deficit, allowed Stony Brook to gnaw away in the bottom of the seventh. They finally got that big hit that they had been searching for.
Nicole McCarville showing off her defensive skills in the top half of the seventh inning. To keep this just a one-run margin, Stony Brook entered the bottom of the seventh, still trailing. They needed at least one run to come across to push it to extras. They got that one run on clutch hitting. Jonah Nuss, Kira McFarland, Melissa Rarick, and then Lindsay Osmer, all with hits in the seventh inning. And of course, not to be lost, Jordan Herring with the sacrifice bunt to move over Shauna Nuss into scoring position. Once again, from University Field, the final score in Game 2 of this doubleheader, 3-2. Stony Brook wins it. They've now won 7 of their last 8 games and improved to 9-1 in conference play and 23-9 overall.